Here are some scenes from last week's show.
How'd you guys take the news?
What news?
About the birth.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about, Max. We know you and Julie are planning on having a natural birth.
Oh, good. A lot of people would object to a baby being born underwater.
Julie, this whole idea absolutely terrifies me. It's so new. It's not thoroughly tested. No medical doctor, no hospital.
Oh, I'm gonna name the baby Felicity.
Good. Okay, Julie.
And if it's a boy, I was thinking of Marlwark. Hello, everybody.
Hi, honey. Did you have a nice rest?
Yeah.
Good. I explained it to everyone.
Oh, great.
Okay.
All I ask is that we clear the family quietly. We discuss. We do not shout.
Your mother blames you for everything and treats Miss Goody Two-Shoes
Goody Two-Shoes?
Miss Goody Two-Shoes like she's got dimples on her butt.
Oh.
How does he know that?
Dimples on my butt!
How dare you talk to my family like that?
And now for the conclusion of The Miracle of Birth.
Anybody that's not going to finish their dessert, you just pass it down here.
That is the last time I will ever make my new guava pudding for this family. Here, have mine, too.
You know, I'm glad we're all together. I'm glad we had a wonderful family dinner, and I'm glad we had the fight.
Yeah, I guess it really did clear the air.
Oh, sure. I don't hate anybody here anymore.
Well, my baby's a lot happier, and that's what counts.
You know, Julie, why don't you and I and Mom and Grandma just adjourn to the living room while the boys clean up?
You're never gonna get away with this. Oh, right. You know,
We're not God wants you.
Baby.
We're not.
Well, Mother, are you more relaxed now about me having my baby underwater?
essentially, no.
All right, Mother, I can accept that.
It's a good thing we didn't tell her about having the baby on television.
Oh, my God.
Now, Shorty, we talked
You're
about
gonna
it.
have the baby on television?
That's incredible. Max Horvath, I will never speak to you again if you let my granddaughter moon 30 million people on television.
Hold it. If you just listen...
What?
We're not gonna do it.
Actually, Max reasoned with me. He said, have my baby on TV and I'll kill you.
You know, Mom,
What, honey?
age doesn't turn you gray. Kids do.
Tell me.
Mom, I'm really scared. I'm trying to be wonderful about all of this, but I just can't. Why can't Julie have a baby like 7 trillion other people?
Oh, honey, now stop worrying. We have 9 days before the baby's due. I broke you of sucking your toe in less than that.
Okay, Mom, I'll give it the old college try. Fellas, why don't you take a walk?
Oh, a little girl talk time?
Yeah, right.
I could use the exercise. You sure you'll be okay, hon?
Oh, sure.
All right. See you later.
Come on, guys, let's take a stroll and have a cigar and leave the ladies in the kitchen to do the dishes and talk about waxy buildup.
That's real funny, Schneider.
Yeah, I'm on a roll.
Well, this is some occasion. My baby's baby is having a baby.
Underwater.
6 seconds. You really restrained yourself, Mom.
Julie, I have to say I agree with Mom about this thing.
Of course, Barbara. You always agree with Mom.
Well, that certainly isn't true, and it's also not fair.
Oh,
Well, is it the pudding?
is it the baby?
Does it still hurt?
No, it's gone. Anyway, it wasn't in front. It was right here across my back.
That's it. Here we go.
Now, not necessarily, Mom.
Don't tell me not necessarily. I had my first pain right across the back, and then I had 2 million pains in the front, and then some idiot nurse yelled, push it, and I told her to stick it. And then I had the baby, so what do you know?
Mom, I was the baby.
Well, then you ought to remember.
Sweetie, are you okay? You want to lie down?
You know, maybe we ought to call a doctor.
No, I'm fine, honest.
Oh, I know. You're just trying to get out of doing the dishes.
Well, I am going to call Dr. Tishman and tell him about the back spasm or whatever it was, just in case, just to keep him informed. Hello, Dr. Tishman, please. This is Ann Romano. Right, I'll hold.
You know, if this is really the baby, I've got to get to California.
Julie, there's no time.
Honey, if you are going to have a baby, no airline will take you.
How about Air Express? They guarantee delivery.
Look, yes, hi. I'm waiting to talk to... Oh, hello, Dr. Tishman. Hi, Ann Romano. Yeah, I'm calling about Julie. She had what might have been labor pain. Then, of course, it might not have been. But I just thought you ought to know just in the back. Yeah, it was just about here. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right, doctor. Okay, thank you very much. All right. He said to just wait and let him know when the next one shows up.
Sure, wait. Just once, I would like to see a man get pregnant.
You know, the foundation has a water tank all reserved for me and everything. I've got to get to California,
Honey,
Mom.
if that was a labor pain, you cannot go to California. You can't.
Hi, Francine. Come on in. Mom, it's Francine.
Barbara. Hello, Annie, Catherine, Julie. Oh, how nice to see you. Julie, my goodness, look at you. You're getting to look more like your mother every day.
What do you want, Francine?
Oh, I just thought I would bring these proofs by. I'm not going to be in too early tomorrow morning. I have this absolutely fabulous date tonight.
Oh, who with?
I think it's Oscar. Oh, well, am I interrupting something? You all look so miserable.
Oh, no, nobody's miserable. I think Julie's going to have her baby.
The baby?
Baby. Yes, baby. Little short people. You do know where babies come from, don't you, Francine?
Previous marriages. Well, if there's anything I can do, call my service.
Bye, Francine.
Goodbye. Oh, Julie, what hospital are you going to be in?
Well, I'm supposed to be on my way to a clinic in California.
To have her baby underwater.
Oh? Underwater?
Yes, it's a new thing.
How wonderful for us.
Us?
Romano and Webster. It's a chance to get another major account. It's a natural tie-in. This baby will be born underwater. And not just underwater, but under Perrier.
Bye, Francine.
And this could mean thousands to the baby.
Thousands?
Francine.
Well, goodbye, all. Good luck, dear.
We had a girl like her in school. We drowned her.
Grandma, you didn't.
Oh, well, we tried to. But 3 boys and 2 teachers and the vice principal jumped in to save her. Took her 30 years, but she married every one of them.
Hi. Hi.
Guess who we just saw in the hall?
Francine.
Yeah. Can God get you for stuff you just think about?
I hope not.
Thanks, sweetheart.
Max, honey, we've got to get to California.
We will.
No, I mean now. I just had my first labor pain.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure.
All right, that's it. General quarters, everybody man their baby stations.
What do we do?
Alex, you go boil some water. Max, you hold her hand. Mark, you rip some sheets up. Barbara, you go in there and sterilize the bedroom with vinegar or booze. Anything that'll kill bugs.
Schneider, there's still time.
I've got to get to California.
Really, will you just drop it?
But not here.
Julie, we can't go to California now. You know that.
I know, but Max, what about all our plans about having the baby underwater?
It'll be all right.
No, it won't.
Honey, come on. Maybe it's for the best.
No, it isn't. Max, I think something's happening.
All right, that's it. General quarters, everybody man your baby stations.
Schneider. I'm going to call Dr. Tishman.
No, Mom. There's no need for that. I'm just going to have the baby here.
Here? In the house?
Yes, in the bathtub.
In the bathtub? You shouldn't even be trying to get into a bathtub this late.
Let alone spawn in it.
Mother, there are documented cases of women having underwater births in bathtubs.
And there are documented cases of women giving birth in the hospital, too.
Julie, can we talk about this before you
Max,
jump
I've
into
made up my mind.
Just a second.
Mark, you try and talk some sense into her. You've had medical training. You're going to be a dentist.
Basically, I work the other end.
Julie, Grandma, I am so glad you understand.
Julie, just a second.
Would somebody please say something helpful?
Something helpful.
Thanks. I'm going to call Dr. Tishman again.
She's not really going through with this, is she?
You don't know Julie.
Oh, I just pray that the bathtub is clean.
Oh, it's clean. I just took a bath.
I'm going to get some industrial strength cleansing powder.
I think you've just been insulted.
Dr. Tishman, please. Okay, this is Anne Romano. Will you just tell him that it concerns Julie Cooper? Yes. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Julie, could we talk about this, please?
Max, please, just figure out how many gallons of water this thing holds so I can tell how much salt to add. And give me a thermometer for the water and help me up.
Sit over here. It's easier on your back. Yeah.
Julie, honey, how are you doing? Any more pain?
No, not yet, Grandma.
Oh, good. I can sterilize the tub. Oh, boy, I just hope that Alex wasn't playing with frogs.
Hold on, do you mind?
Warts. Yeah.
Julie, I have to say something. Look, I know I'm your little sister, and everything I say is straight, square, and nauseatingly sensible. But if you want my advice, please
I don't. Not now.
Barbara, honey, would you please just let us handle this, okay?
Excuse me, could I handle this, please? I am the husband. Would you stop the damn scrubbing?
Okay, you scrub. I'm going to inspect it.
Can I ask something, please? Alex, I want to talk to her, and I was first.
Wrong. I was first. Everybody out. Come on. Let's go. Hey!
I'm sorry, Max. Forgive me. I'm really, excuse me. Look, sweetheart, I haven't been able to talk to Dr. Tishman, but I talked to a Dr. Boudreau, and he recommends that you forget this nonsense. I'm sorry. I'm not nonsense. He thinks that you should reconsider going to the hospital where they have technical personnel and monitoring equipment.
Of course he'd say that so we can pay for his condos and go golf.
I have to ask a question. It's kind of important to me.
Everybody! Please. Please just leave us alone, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, everybody out. Out. Okay? Everybody out. Max, it's up to you.
Max, everything is going wrong. All of our plans are going wrong.
Julie, I believe in everything we planned. But not here. Not like this.
Max, I've been through all the instructions. I've done all the exercises. I'm ready.
I'm sorry. Not without somebody here who's trained in the method.
You were trained. You could do it.
Julie, I was trained for a big tank in California, not a tub in Indianapolis. And I'm not going to risk you on what I know.
Yeah.
What?
It's Alex.
Alex, please, okay?
Okay.
The whole idea was to bring our baby into a world of warmth and gentleness and peace.
And love.
Oh, Max, especially love. I don't want to give that up.
You know you're a very sweet person.
Thank you.
You're going to make our baby a damn good mother.
I love you.
I love you, too. And I don't think we're going to have to give up anything. Maybe somebody up there is pushing us in a better direction. Think about it. Where are we?
In the John.
That's true. We're in the John. No, Julie, what I mean is we're right in the middle of all the people who will love our baby the most. We have the peace and the love and the warmth. Do we need the water?
Why doesn't he call back?
I don't know. We have got to get a doctor.
Mrs. Dokes down at 233. She watches General Hospital every day.
Let's just keep that in reserve, shall we?
Hello? Oh, finally, Dr. Tishman. Hi. Look, about Julie. Yes, right, the underwater birth. Look, she insists on having the baby here in the bathtub. So could you come over? It's real... well, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but, he doesn't want to come over.
I don't blame him. I'm worried about malpractice, and I don't even have a practice yet.
Listen to me. We really need you very badly. You've been our doctor for years. You delivered both of my children. You were Julie's doctor before.
Oh, finally.
Excuse me. We've decided to not have the baby in the tub.
Oh, thank God. Dr. Tishman, listen to me. They decided not to have the baby in the tub. Yes, isn't that wonderful? What? Okay. Oh, yes. All right, fine. Thank you. All right. He said to start timing your contractions and to alert him, and he'll meet us at the hospital.
Hospital?
Yes, darling.
With bright lights and chrome and
Yes.
strangers?
Wow.
No way, Mom. Forget it. I want him to come here. I want to have my baby in your bedroom with my family all around me. Oh, Max!
Okay.
Oh,
Max!
Jesus.
All right.
That was a sharp one.
All right, the contraction begins. Take a cleansing breath. Relax. How you doing, hon?
Just fine. Don't let go of my hand.
I won't. Ever.
Thank you for the soft lights and peaceful colors. Everything is so calm and gentle now.
Okay, Alex. Plug it in.
Okay.
That's soft enough for you?
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you, dear Schneider.
Schneider, where in the world did you get those lanterns?
Out at the lodge. We had a samurai night and beer bust.
I don't care if pastels are soothing. I feel dumb in the sheet.
Anything to keep her out of the bathtub, okay?
Hi, Dr. Tishman. He should be here any minute.
How do you like the lanterns?
It's really very nice, Schneider. I smell beer.
Well, when the geisha girls arrived, things got out of hand.
Oh, Julie, take it easy. We're here.
And I'm glad you are, my beloved family.
All right, contraction begins. Take a cleansing breath. Focus.
Okay, that's 7 minutes since the last contraction.
Okay, thanks.
The doctor get here.
Can I make some popcorn?
Alex, darling, why don't you go call the doctor again, huh?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Julie, I love you.
Oh, I love you too, Alex.
Now, that's really terrific. I mean, usually a guy can't come right out and say, I love you, unless he doesn't mean it, you know?
Schneider, if you feel it, it's okay to say it.
Well, I can't. Oh, I will. Julie, you know, you've always, you've always been, and Barbara, the same with you, you know? I mean, the both of you. And Catherine, Miss Romano, I mean, I feel that, well, that's just the way I feel. I mean, Max, Mark, and Alex, you guys too.
Thank you, Schneider.
That was beautiful.
I didn't think I was going to be able to say it.
Julia, I want to say something. You remember when I was 11 and I held a My Favorite Sister contest?
You've only got one sister.
Yeah, and I came in third.
I just want to say you moved up a couple notches.
Dr. Service said he's on his way.
Oh, terrific.
I'll wait in the lobby for him.
Thank you, Alex.
Mark, did you get the ocean sounds?
Oh, no, I couldn't find those. But I found something else I think will be just as restful. Loon calls.
Speaking of loons, dear.
You know what I really used to love?
All right.
Yeah, when we used to go camping and we would all kind of sit around the campfire and sing songs. You guys remember any of those songs?
Oh, sure. Julie, darling, you know, I remember when you were a little girl, that was when your parents used to include me in your trips. And we used to tuck you into your little sleeping bag under the stars. And you always asked me to sing you to sleep. John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, that's my name too.
Whenever I go out, the people always shout, John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. Jingleheimer Schmidt.
He's here. The doctor's here.
Dr. Tishman.
Hello.
Hi, Dr. Tishman. Oh, it's good to see you.
It was Julie's idea.
I see. How are you, Julie?
Hi, Dr. Tishman. I'm Max Horvath, Julie's husband.
Very good to meet
Thanks
you.
for coming.
How you feeling?
Well, fine. I just had another contraction.
Yeah, they're coming around 7 minutes apart now.
Well, that gives us plenty of time, Julie. I really want to get you to the hospital.
Hospital?
Yes.
Doctor, I want my baby born here with my family and friends. I don't want Felicity or little Marlark to be born in some cold plastic room with bright lights and strangers.
It means a lot to us, Doctor.
Well, it's true a lot of hospitals are cold and plastic,
But there are others that have alternate birth centers with rooms just like this, except no lanterns. They even have double beds, and you can have the baby right there with anybody in the room with you.
Really?
Doctor,
Yeah.
I'm afraid Julie gets very obstinate about things like this. So,
Okay, baby, you're gonna be fine.
Beloved mother, get me to the beloved hospital.
Feet together. Now swing your feet over.
Oh, Julie. Such a beautiful baby. It's such a beautiful experience. I am never going to forget this.
Honey, thank you for letting us be here.
Anytime.
Wayne.
Schneider.
Wayne, come on, bud.
Schneider.
Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on, fella. Come on. Let me go. Come on.
Here you go.
Come on. Come on.
Oh, boy.
What happened? I mean, when is the baby going to be born?
It already was.
I missed it?
You fainted.
Did not faint at all. Must be an ether leak in this room.
Right.
Well, was it a boy or a girl?
Oh, Schneider, you know, I thought I was too old-fashioned for something like this, but I wouldn't have missed this for anything in the world.
Was it a boy or a girl?
everything went perfectly. Beautiful, healthy grandchild.
Marlark or Felicity?
Neither.
No, that's unisex?
Schneider, it is a beautiful 7-pound, 4-ounce baby girl.
Yes. And they named her Anne.
Anne?
What else could they name her? The first thing she did was screech and bellow.
How you feeling, baby?
Oh, Max, let's have another one.
Easy for you to say. You got to lie down the whole time.
Shouldn't we, leave them alone for a while?
Oh,
yeah.
Sure, Alex.
I didn't actually faint. I mean,
Max, you know what the second best part was? Having you here. Well, my whole family, but especially you.
Hey, here's the best part. Hi, baby. I'm Daddy. Did you get all washed up and weighed in? Here's your beautiful mommy.
Oh, my Max. Max, she is just beautiful.
Oh, you know, Julie, every baby I've ever seen looks exactly alike. But not her. She is gorgeous.
You know, except for our baby not being born underwater, everything went just beautifully.
Hey, for your information, Mommy, it's been raining for about an hour. Can you believe it?
Oh, thank you.
And thank you for Annie. She is beautiful. And she is a miracle.
Hey, Beulah. I'm gonna use your hot plate, okay? Mine blew up when I tried to dry my socks on it. Cooking up some beans. They say if you're ever lost in the desert, the best thing you can have with you is beans. That's the best thing is a can opener. What are you reading? Economic Concepts and Monetary Quotients? Does your husband know you're reading this smut?
They shouldn't jail criminals. They should make them go to dental school. Hi, honey.
Hi, dear.
So what's up?
I can tell you one thing for sure. She isn't interested in beans.
Well, glad to hear that. Economic concepts? Are we broke again?
Oh, no, I'm going to be assistant buyer at Olympia Sporting Goods.
You got a promotion.
No. I didn't get a promotion. I am going to get a promotion. You see, I study like mad, right? And then Mr. Erickson gives me this test, and I pass it, and then I become assistant buyer for the whole chain.
Wow.
From that moment on, you were going to have to make an appointment to kiss me. That one was for free.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
What would you say to a little late-night popcorn?
Great.
You got any?
Hey, did you hear? Beulah's gonna be an assistant buyer for that place where she works, and we all have to make appointments to kiss her.
An appointment to kiss another man's wife? That takes the adventure out of it.
So what brought all this on?
Oh, I don't know, Mark. I'm restless, I guess, and we could use the extra money. And I would like to be somebody.
She's right. She's certainly nobody the way she is.
Okay. Who put the socks on my toaster?
Oh, great. Are they done?
Hey, have you got any popcorn on you?
Just in time. Just in time for the saga of Barbara Royer. Will she find happiness as an assistant buyer, or will she destroy her happiness with Marcus Royer, town dentist? Will they get to the root canal of the problem?
Okay, Jefferson. Shut up.
The end.
So, Marcus, what do you think about this assistant buyer thing, huh?
Wait, let's not make a big deal out of it, okay? It's just a chance for a better job. There must be this little voice way back here someplace telling me I'm nobody.
Yeah, I got one of those, too. I call him my father.
But what's all this about being somebody? You are somebody.
Sure she is, to you, not to herself. Look, Marcus, people have to find themselves.
Yeah, I just want to be more than a clerk in a store.
Well, there is a problem. Barbara being a woman, I read about this study that proved women are smarter than horses, but that horses are dumber than sponges. Thanks.
You're welcome.
So when do you take the test?
Tomorrow. I wanted to surprise you, but I had to bring this book home to study.
You know, I just realized something. I'm sitting here with a pocket full of beans. I'll see you guys later.
Goodbye.
Bye.
You coming, Hal?
No, I don't think so. Oh, yeah. Well, never did find the popcorn anyway.
We don't have any.
That explains it. Are you coming, Eloise?
Why are you guys treating this thing like it's a crisis and then doing the we better leave them alone bit? I mean, we're talking self-realization here. I mean, we're talking Barbara.
Eloise, if you don't come here right now, we're talking, we remove the towel.
Bye.
Adios.
Look, Mark, let's not make more of this than it is, okay? I love you, you love me, our lives are terrific, and I'm gonna pass that test tomorrow.
I don't doubt it. But it bothers me that all of a sudden you think you're nobody. There's nobody more somebody than you. It's that you feel you're more my wife than Barbara, isn't it?
No, it's not that. I don't know what I think. I'm only sure of one thing.
What?
I'm smarter than a sponge.
See, what you do is you take the blouse, the shirt, whatever, you button every second button, and you fold it like that. There you go.
Let me see that again.
You're right. I get to do all the work that way, huh? Pay attention. Alex, pay attention. You button every... You flunked the test.
I passed the test.
Well, that's great. Isn't it?
They tested 3 of us, okay? Harry, Linda, and me. I beat Harry by 50 points, and I tied with Linda.
That's terrific. Yeah, congratulations.
Wrong. I'm still a clerk, and Linda got the job. Because she went to college. She went to college, and I didn't. I didn't go to college, and she did. She got the job, and I didn't.
Oh, darling, I'm sorry. I really, really am.
Yeah, me too, Barb. Being beaten out by a woman's got to be the worst.
Well, go ahead and say it, Mom.
Say what?
What you said all along. I should have gone to college. I belong in college right now. A time will come when I will regret not having gone to college.
Darling, I'm not going to apologize for having been more or less right.
You weren't more or less right. You were absolutely right.
Honey, I've learned that college isn't for everyone, but I have always believed it was right for you.
I know that. Okay. I not only missed my education, I missed the dances, the panty raids, the ball games.
Panty raids? It's amazing we ever made it to the moon.
Mom, I'm good at figures. I have a feel for business. I would have been a great assistant buyer.
Oh, darling, I'm sure you would have been. So, lesson learned. Come on, go to college now.
No! Mom, I said no. Everything stays the same. Do you hear me?
Hard not to. You're shouting.
I'm sorry. I guess I just had to yell at somebody. Look, Mark comes first on this thing. I am helping him get through dental school, and I don't want anybody making him feel that he's holding me back from something I want to do. Nobody, Mom. That goes for you, too, Alex.
I'm just a 14-year-old kid trying to survive.
Hold still, okay? Come in.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi, Ms. Romano.
Ah.
Beulah's down the hall. She'll be right back.
Oh, no problem. I just came by to drop off this bag. She left it at my place last night. Why do you call her Beulah?
Because she asked me not to call her Babs. May I look in your mouth?
I beg your pardon?
Give the poor slob a break, Miss Romano. He's got a dental exam coming up, and he knows every mouth in the building.
Well, I have errands to run. I'm not too thrilled about this.
Come on,
whole...
please. You're the only virgin territory around.
Yeah, well, if
Please,
you insist.
come on.
Yeah,
Sit right
okay.
down there.
All right, just a minute. For a minute, okay?
Oh, good. Ms. Romano, I'm glad you're here. Do you know that your daughter wants to disappear as a human being while she subverts herself to Mark? Isn't that wrong, isn't it?
Miss Romano, don't listen to the talking towel. Barbara and Mark made a deal, right?
This is real interesting, Miss Romano. Did you know that you have a fat tongue?
Oh, Mom, hi.
Barbara, your mother agrees with us.
I don't agree with anything, honey. I just came here to bring back your bag.
Thanks, Mom. Look, Barbara, why don't you work and go to school at the same time, right? And Mark will work and go to school at the same time, and voila! Two equal people sharing an equal life together.
Eloise, how's your boyfriend?
I don't have one.
I rest my case.
Barbara, do you want to remain little Miss Clerk while we turn into educated savoir-faire types? I mean, do you? Does she, Miss Romano? I don't think that she does.
Barb, do you want to go back to school?
Well,
Yes, she wants to. See her eyes light up? I knew it.
Well, your teeth are fine, Ms. Romano, but I'm worried about that fat tongue. Do you ever have trouble talking?
No, Jeff.
not ever.
Open up. Rinse. Thank you very much for the use of your mouth. Please pay the nurse on the way out.
Look, Mark and I decided.
Listen, do the two of you have a contract? I mean, did you sign an oath in blood or something?
Okay, Eloise, it's easy to say Mark will work, but doing what?
What about his T-shirt business? He's neglected that. He can start it up again.
You know what I think? I think I better go home and take my fat tongue out of here before it gets me in trouble. But may I say, I like the way it's going.
Bye, Mom. Thank you for bringing my bag.
Bye, babe. Bye. Oh.
Uh-oh, a visit from the mother-in-law. What mischief hath thou wrought, woman?
My lord Royab, thine wife is about to make a decision, and it behooveth me to get the hell out of here.
Made a decision?
Yeah, we think so.
Oh, but Mom had nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with what?
Hungry?
No.
Mark,
Yeah?
I'm gonna go back to school. College. With you and everybody and say something. Quick.
You know, I like it.
Yeah?
In fact, I think it's terrific.
Oh, good.
So when do you think you'll start back?
Now?
Now?
Before he finishes dental school?
Way to go. You just destroyed a marriage.
That's what my mom and dad always used to tell me.
Mark and Mark will survive.
It'll be rough.
Hey, guys, it's gonna work. Now, come on, everybody out of here. Come on, come on, come on. Not you, silly. Come on, come on.
Bye-bye, silly.
Yeah, right.
It'll work.
Sweetheart, I had to get to the bookstore before my first class. I left you half a grapefruit, a bowl of cornflakes, and all my love. P.S. There's no milk.
Honey, I may be up most of the night in the chem lab. Here's $2 for the electric bill. Hope you have the rest. P.S. I picked up the milk.
Oh, hi.
Hi. How are you?
Oh, fine. How's school?
Okay. You lost a little weight?
Oh, no. You look good.
Oh, thanks. Well, nice seeing you.
Yeah. Wait, where are you going?
Oh, I have to deliver these T-shirts.
In a suit and tie?
Yeah, only thing I had clean.
Oh.
I love you.
Love you too.
Bye. See you soon.
Oh, Mark, I got chicken for dinner.
Oh, great. Bye.
Bye.
Honey, guess what?
I remember you.
Honey, I got a B+ in economics 1A.
Great. Let's celebrate.
Aren't you going to talk to me?
Sure. I love your eyes, your face, your teeth, your hair. Let me help you out of your clothes.
No. The family's coming over for dinner.
When?
Any minute.
What am I doing? I'm exhausted. For a moment there, I thought I was aroused.
Oh, honey, look, I know we haven't had time for some things lately, but it's not that bad. How about next February?
How come we have people coming over? Can't we just turn out the lights and pretend we're not here?
Mark, you invited them.
I did?
Yes.
Well, you're supposed to stop me from doing dumb things. What about food?
It's in the oven.
We don't have an oven.
Eloise's oven. She's making a meatloaf for us, and Jeff is making the salad. Didn't you hear what I said?
What?
I got a B+ in economics 1A.
Hey.
If I could just ace that English quiz next week.
You're really enjoying this, aren't you?
Oh, I love it. How about you?
Oh, yeah, it seems to be working out.
Yeah.
Hey, you sure we go to the same school? I never see you once we hit the campus. How about lunch tomorrow?
Oh, honey, I'd love to, but I go straight from my 11 o'clock class to the store.
Tell you what, meet you right here every night about midnight. Try not to be wearing anything complicated. He's got a key to everything.
Hi.
Wine for my hostess.
Oh,
Good stuff.
screw top.
Yeah, well, they were all out of Pop Top. Where do you want me to sit for dinner?
Oh, sit anywhere. Hold on a second. They're here! Hey, Jeff, you're here. Bring the salad.
Okay.
See, I'm up to here in homework, so I had the guys make dinner.
I don't care who makes it. I'm starved. I haven't eaten any food all day long. My stomach has been sending mailgrams to my mouth.
Honey, you do seem a little disorganized. You okay?
If you guys could excuse me for a few minutes, I've got to take these T-shirts down to a boutique before they close tonight.
Oh, you want me to go with you to help?
Oh, no, if you want to help, you can fold those T-shirts right there. Bye-bye.
Okay, honey, bye.
Check this out.
The hills are alive with the sound of music. I don't get it.
I guess it loses something if it's not worn by a girl.
Hey, that's okay. Give me one of these things. Let me see.
All right.
What does that say?
You're wasting your time looking here. I'm a guy. That's terrific. See, what it means is that...
I know what it means. Honestly, if women didn't have breasts, you men would be speechless.
Oh, hi, everybody.
Hi, Eloise.
Look, Barbara, I made you meatloaf, okay? I mean, I make a really great meatloaf.
God love you.
You got to turn on the oven.
God forgive you. Hey, Beulah, you know that lettuce I thought I had? It turned out to be Brussels sprouts.
Anybody for Brussels sprouts tartare?
Well, they don't go with the wine, but why don't you serve them up anyway?
I don't think we picked a good night for this.
I think you're right. Eloise, Jeff, thanks a lot. Honey, we'll grab a bite on the way home.
Oh, Mom, I'm really sorry.
Oh, come on. We survived bigger crises than this. Thanks. Thanks for the good thoughts, kids. Bye, sweetheart. I'll call you tomorrow. Give Mark a kiss for me. Schneider, if you're going to cry, would you do it in the car?
They look like cabbages for little kids.
Bye, Barb.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hi, Barb.
Hi.
Does she know?
We weren't going to tell her, mouth. Now we have to. She's going to ask us what we're talking about.
What are you talking about?
See?
Dental school.
Yeah, look, Barbara, things are going so good with you and Marcus. Well, we didn't want to tell you that he flunked.
Flunked? Flunked what?
One of his tests. It's nothing important, though. Something about teeth.
He didn't want to tell you about it. He's got this noble streak.
Yeah, and I've got this yellow streak. I think I'll be going before he gets back.
Me too.
Meatloaf, Brussels sprouts, good news. I think we've helped you guys enough today. See you, Buell.
How are your classes?
Same old stuff. Not tonight, dear. I have a headache.
Test okay?
Tough.
But okay?
Why not? Get your foot off my leg, woman. Barbara Royer, you are an inflammatory person.
That's better. For a minute there, I thought you were dead. Mark, I'm quitting school. No arguments, just until you graduate.
You know I flunked the test. So you're quitting school for me.
Honey, we have to do something.
Barbara, look me straight in the eye and tell me that you want to quit school.
Okay, I don't want to quit school, but wanting has nothing to do with it.
I don't accept sacrifice as well, so forget it. You're not quitting school.
Okay.
Okay? Just like that, okay? That's some solution.
Well, Mark, you just said forget quitting school.
I know what I said, but you could have argued a little before you agreed with me.
Look, honey, you're just getting touchy because you're really tired.
I'm touchy because everything was going just fine until you decided to become Betty Coed.
That was cheap.
Yeah, well, that's all I can afford right now. Oh. Honey, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I don't want you to quit school.
What's the problem?
The problem is that we're studying so hard so that we can have time to earn money to pay for school, where we're spending all the time we don't have to be together because we're working so hard. We don't have time to study.
Easy for you to say. Hey, so our lives are falling apart. Maybe. What do you want to do about it?
I knew you'd ask that.
Okay, first. First, we have to think about money, right?
Yeah.
Okay, work. Say I put in 1 extra hour a day at the store, okay? Say you put out 10 extra T-shirts a week.
We don't buy lunches, we skip all movies, and at dinner time, we visit your mother.
Yeah, right. Oh, I could always let out some of Mom's old dresses.
I'm not wearing your mom's old dresses.
I could always do somebody's laundry.
What about sex?
No, just their laundry.
Honey, I think we're kidding ourselves. It can't be done.
If it can't be done, how come so many other kids our age are doing it?
You're not quitting school.
And you're not flunking out.
So what are we gonna do? What was that?
American literature. I'll take it next semester, so we can have more time together.
Periodontics. Let their gums rot. I just want to spend some time with you. I'll pick it up next summer. Oh, my God.
What? What's that?
It's a rose. I got it for you on Monday, but I didn't have time to give it to you.
Sweet. Come here.
Hey, spaghetti a la can. How do you do it?
Well, I just owe it all to my electric kitchen. I'm just sorry I have to serve the rolls cold.
Oh, that's no problem. Here. Just turn the old electric blanket up to 9.
How come you're so clever?
I had to be to get you.
Oh, I don't know. I kind of thought handsome and sexy were enough.
Thanks. Well, I'm almost certain you didn't marry me for my money.
Oh, come on. We're doing okay, right?
Right. Since we launched the austerity program, cutting back, working extra hours, we've been going under at a much slower rate.
Come on. Don't be so gloomy. Think positive.
How?
Well, we could always go to bed and make love.
Not in front of the rolls, dear.
When?
Step right up, ladies and gents, for a taste of the brew that made Indianapolis famous.
Oh, that's brew. I thought your dragon was sick.
He has a still in the basement.
There you go.
You want me to drink this?
Not right away. I'd like it to breathe a little before you drink it.
I'd like to breathe a little after I drink it.
Yeah?
I will if you will.
Come on, guys, this isn't a suicide pact.
Let's hope not.
Well?
I like it.
Mark?
Not bad.
Hey, Jed Clampett. That thing of yours in the basement is smoking and shaking and making all sorts of weird noises.
It's supposed to smoke. It's part of the aging process.
Oh, yeah? What about the weird noises?
Keeps the revenuers away. Stop worrying here.
I propose a toast to the good life.
The good life.
And being rich.
Yeah.
And to our life, scraping by. My beautiful wife. My ever-present friends.
Thank you very much.
And bad booze.
Yeah.
Maybe I put in too much aftershave.
Hurry up, will you, Alex? Got a lane reserved. It's only a 10-minute grace period.
Be right out, Schneider. I'm on the telephone.
And I'm right in the strike zone. So, another intimate dinner with the great American architect?
Mm-hmm. Sam, I am over 21.
God knows. You know, Miss Romano, I think it's very brave of you, although a little bit sad, the way you're trying to work through your pain.
Pain?
Yeah, listen, it hasn't escaped my notice that when your youngest daughter moved out, it was a very traumatic experience for you, maternalistically speaking.
Right, Schneider.
I mean, the daughter moves out, mother turns into a lascivious, promiscuous, licentious, carnal woman.
For heaven's sake, Schneider. You know, that's very good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just got my book from the Romance of the Month Club. Pirate's Concubine by Victoria Mizzen. All those words were on the first page in one sentence. What's licentious?
Well, could you get that door?
Okay, and I'll pick up the spare. Roya?
Schneider. Hey, you look really terrific tonight.
Oh, it's just an old bowling shirt today.
Well, you don't look so bad yourself. That's licentious.
Is he still there?
Look, if you guys can keep a lid on it, I'll have the kid out of here in a few minutes. I realize you gotta make your move once the hormones start stirring. Particularly at your age.
Surprised you remember.
Schneider, we really do thank you for taking Alex bowling.
Yeah, well, somebody has to safeguard the kid's moral fiber. Been in grave danger these past 2 months. Fortunately, kid looks up to me.
Hey, good guy.
You guys have finished frisking one another. We gotta go, all right?
Use the left. Use the left like I told you.
Use the left like that, you're gonna break your nose. Come on, Alex, we gotta go. We're gonna miss the happy hour.
Schneider, I'm glad I'm going with you instead of Sam.
Yeah, I know you. Oh, you are?
Yeah, he's too good. At least I feel comfortable with you.
You bowl a little, Roya?
A little.
Little? 8 strikes in a row. He uses a 2-finger ball.
Well, I use a 2-finger ball, too. Only difference is I throw it overhand.
later.
Bye-bye. You know what I love about your family?
What's that?
For once, they're not here.
I can hardly believe it myself.
Yeah, it's too good to be true.
Hi, Mom.
Barbara, hi.
Hi, all.
Mark, hi. What's with the suitcases?
Yeah, you're doing this all wrong, son. When your wife goes running back to mother, you're not supposed to drop her off.
See, don't panic or anything, but there was an accident down at the house.
Yeah, you see, Jess got this still in the basement, and the damn thing blew up.
Nobody was hurt or anything, but it's just it was down there with the pipes and the wires.
Everything's been knocked out.
Yeah.
Kind of like here.
Since we couldn't stay there, we thought we'd stay here. It's okay, isn't it?
Sure.
Oh, I told her no way. It's only for one night.
Which night?
We tried calling, but the phone was busy.
Yeah, we've been having a little trouble with the phone. It's called Alex.
Anyway, it's just for one night.
Actually, it could be a couple nights.
It's just a little wiring and some plumbing. It won't take long.
Okay, first things first, where are we going to put you guys?
New Hampshire's very nice this time of year.
All right, I know. You can move back into your old room, and Mark and Alex can bunk in the little room. Or we can put a rollaway into your old room for you and Mark.
It's just for one night.
Mark, come on. Just put the bags in the bedroom, okay?
I think I'll just put the bag in the bedroom.
Mark, watch out for Felix! Alex's new chameleon.
Why don't I just buy him a new one?
Oh, Mark.
I'm just kidding. He ran under the bed and turned the color of lint balls and dirty socks.
Look, Mom, we don't want to be a disruption.
Right. So you two just go ahead and do whatever you had planned for tonight.
Oh. How do you two feel about bowling?
I think we picked a bad night to barge in.
Now. Sam and I can do this anytime.
Sure. I want to see that chameleon that looks like lint balls and dirty socks. That's why I came.
We have plenty of dinner for all of us.
It's obvious that you planned a private romantic evening. We don't want to spoil that. Come on, we can find someplace else to stay.
You know, you could stay at my place, but there's only one bed, and it's mine. And your mother says it's lumpy. Your mother never said that. Somebody else. I don't remember who.
It's just for one night.
Mark, please, we're welcome here. What's with you?
It's just I have this thing about getting married, moving out on our own, and then coming back to live with the folks.
Liv, you said one night.
Yeah, it's one night. I just have this hang-up. You know, I think it started with the mouth brooders.
Excuse me, the what?
A fish, like saltwater catfish. See, Dad used to read to me from the encyclopedia.
I don't know, those fairy tales always scared the hell out of me.
There's a point to this somewhere.
Yeah, see, the fish, their eggs incubate and hatch inside the mother's mouth. Mouth brooders.
It's for protection. See, and as the fish are growing up, they venture out from her mouth to feed, and then they dart back in if a big fish swims by. Till one day they're big enough, they dart out, and they stay out there on their own.
Except for the weaklings. They still go rushing back into the mother's mouth. And she eats them.
Mark, why don't you just sit down and eat?
Oh, no. Coffee's fine. I'll just grab a donut at school.
I really wish you would stop feeling so guilty about staying here, huh? Sit.
You guys sleep okay in my room?
Oh, sure, if you like sleeping with a hamster. Now, either teach him to do his road work in the afternoon or lube that wheel in his cage, okay? I mean, all night long. Squeak, squeak, squeak.
I don't suppose there's anything in the paper about the explosion.
Why don't you read it yourself?
No, it's your paper. Go ahead. I'll get it, I'm up.
All right. I got bad news. And I'm just gonna go ahead and give it to you straight, because that's the only way I know how to go. Straight talking. Straight in the shoulder.
What's wrong?
Uh-huh. Breakfast. You're having breakfast. That's good. You know, the English had the right idea when they made breakfast the most important meal of the day. It fortified them. It got them ready to face anything that life might throw at them. I mean, civil strikes, the devaluation of the pound, the Great Plague, the Saxon hordes, the Visigoths. All right. Just out of professional curiosity, I went down to see the damages at the rooming house where you used to live.
Used to?
That's right. It's been condemned.
Condemned?
Condemned.
Condemned? Condemned?
Condemny-demmed. The only thing that passed inspection was the still.
Wow. That must have been a great explosion.
And you drank that stuff?
Only thing the explosion did was to get the housing inspector down there to check out the wires and the pipes and stuff. I want to tell you, Miss Romano, the only place I've ever seen in worse shape was Freddie Wallaconis's pig farm in Secaucus.
Okay, look, if you want your bedroom back, fine. I'll just move into my old room. The hole.
No way. We're not moving in here. Now, I'm sorry, Barbara.
You're sorry, Mark. I did not get married to live with my mother.
Excuse me, did anybody hear that? Shh, listen.
I don't hear anything.
What are we listening to? The sound of a mother's voice asking her children to move in.
I didn't hear that.
Right.
Hold it. You don't want your daughter and your son-in-law to move in with you?
No.
You're not just saying that to be nice.
That no was a no of experience. When I first got married, we lived with my mother-in-law.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
How long did you live with Grandma Cooper?
8 days. 7 days too long. But we needed her help. So, if you need to stay here, okay, I mean, if you absolutely need to stay, and Mark, I am not a mouth brooder.
Whatever, Miss R. I think you're off the hook. When I went down there to check out the wreck, I bumped into Jeff, and he said he's already scouting around the campus for a new place for all you guys.
Oh.
You're right, honey. It's time we had a place of our own.
Oh, honey, you needed a place of our own?
Well, we may not find a place as nice as the one we had, but if we're going to move, let's make a real move.
I think that's terrific.
I can't wait.
I'll help you look.
Look, darling, Mark, as long as you need to stay here, you're welcome.
We're not staying. We're just going to visit. I'm not even going to unpack. We'll be out of here in 2 days, 3 days tops.
4 weeks. Mark, let's just give it up.
I'm not unpacking.
Annie, will you please hurry up? We do not want to be late for our meetings.
Okay, all right, okay.
Oh, hello. Yes, I'm calling about your ad in the Star. Oh, no pets, no children. $175? That's great. Oh, that's a week. You see, right. Oh, it does have heat. Yes, I agree. That is a nice feature. Does it have doors? We'll let you know.
We're never going to find a place we can afford.
Oh, Barbara, nobody lives in a place they can afford. It's un-American.
I'm not sure I'd want to live in a place we could afford. Do you have any idea where we could find a place?
And soon?
Well, yes, as a matter of fact, I do. 1278 Westfall Road. Oh, that's a very nice neighborhood.
Is that the real estate section?
No, the obituaries.
I'm ready. Good luck today. I hope you find something.
Don't worry, Annie. This is it. It's gone on long enough. We're both taking the day off, and we are finding a place to live.
Something, anything. I don't care what it looks like.
Annie, why don't you let the kids move in here, and you could find someplace nice?
How's it going with your student housing?
Well, I'm on a list carefully calculated to get me an apartment 2 years after I graduate.
Don't you have any friends who have empty servants' quarters or a houseboat?
How about a mountain lodge with a helicopter?
Anne, please be serious. I understand how difficult this can be. 1 year in school, it was so bad I had to sell most of my fraternity pins.
Francine, that's really sad.
I know. 3 more dates and I would have had the whole Greek alphabet.
Let's go, Francine.
Wait a minute. I've got it. I know this perfectly charming couple who live on Cold Spring Road, and they're looking for a live-in couple to do the cleaning, cooking, gardening, ironing.
When would we have time to go to school?
Well, you'll just have to solve some of the problems yourself.
Francine?
Annie, hang on just a second. Kids, you know what I do when I'm really down? I get a magnum of Dom Perignon and get a facial. Try it.
Thanks, Francine.
That's great.
Annie.
Professor Delbert's wife is a real estate agent. I'll call her. At least she understands the students' financial problems.
Wait till she sees our financial problem.
Well, we're going to have to make some choices.
Yeah, you're right. You call it food or shelter.
Nice dog. Nice dog. Nice dog. Nice dog. Nice dog. Down! Down, dog!
Don't worry, he's tied. And you'll never have to worry about burglars.
It's a nice thing about living in someone else's backyard.
Well, this better be it. It's after 7 o'clock.
Isn't this cozy? You know, we've been renting out a lot of these trailers to young couples such as yourselves.
Really? Look, Mark, our own drawer.
And here's an extra little hole.
You know, I think the word that best describes this cozy little charmer is efficient.
Yes, that's one word for it.
Oh, and you're gonna love the bathroom?
But where is it?
Right across the yard in the house.
Ah, indoor plumbing. Just so happens it's indoors somewhere else.
And this, ta-da, is your hidden bed.
I'll be darned.
Oh, and I just can't wait. Guest accommodations. Would you believe that this place actually sleeps 4? Would you believe it?
No. 200 a month, eh?
Just a seckie. 200, not including utilities. Now, I'm not sure about the stove and the refrigerator. Why don't I just run in and ask the owner? He's right in the house.
Great. While you're gone, we'll just take the grand tour. Well, what do you think?
It's not so bad, really. I mean, well, I guess with a little decoration, it could kind of look a little bit brighter.
Kind of cheerier.
Yeah. Well, for instance, we could put up little curtains.
We could even paint it.
Yeah, maybe put some things on the walls.
You know, I'm beginning to see some possibilities.
Yeah, it's small, but nice.
Nice.
Small.
Well, small's okay as long as it's nice.
Mark, I hate it. I think it's awful.
It really is, isn't it?
Yes, I'd rather live under a rock.
Well, Barb, at least the trailer would be ours. We just can't go on living with your mother.
What is so wrong with my mother?
That isn't the point. She does have a bit of a temper.
Oh, really? I may be missing something. Let me see if I can clear this up. My mother, for whatever reasons, has generously offered to put us up for the time being. And what else is our alternative? The Ritz-Carlton here?
It's obvious that temper runs in the family.
Tell me, Mark, did you inherit your stupidity, or was it something you achieved on your own?
You see what moving in with your mother-in-law does? It's disrupting our marriage.
I haven't even moved in with your mother-in-law yet.
You see, we're in big trouble just talking about it. Shut up!
Look, Mark, I don't want to move in with my mother either. But we haven't any money. We have to be realistic.
We have to be independent.
It's winter. You be independent. I'll be warm.
You know what we need?
What?
A magnum of Dom Perignon and a facial.
Well, it's 8 o'clock. Must have found something.
No, they would have called.
Well, maybe they didn't have time, you know, rushing around before the stores closed.
What?
Come on, Miss Romano. I mean, face it. I mean, even newlyweds, they need food. What's the first thing you do once you've decided to move in someplace? Lay in a big supply of groceries.
Hi.
Oh,
Sorry we held up dinner, but here it is. Fresh, hot pizza. No arguments, we insist. And in here we've got all the ingredients for tomorrow night's dinner. The famous Royer New England boiled dinner.
Yeah, it's really very good. Corned beef, cabbage.
Yeah, and Monday night, Barb's specialty. Cube steak sandwiches, cottage fries.
The trailer you phoned about.
If it had been a horse, it would have shot itself.
So that means...
Yeah. Annie, there's some things we want to get straight. First off, we want to pay you something every week.
Okay.
Okay? You said she'd say no.
My mom's a tough customer. Look, Mom, either we pay for room and board or it's a no-go.
I said okay.
What about utilities?
Oh, Schneider.
What do you mean, oh, Schneider? My house, my old man put in a pay toilet. It's kind of pay as you go.
We'll settle on the exact amount later.
Used to cost a nickel. I think that was the beginning of trickle-down economics.
Now, as far as the rules and regulations are concerned, we're at your command. Whatever you say goes.
I like that.
I just meant things like bathroom priorities.
Okay, well, with that, we do what we've been doing the last 4 weeks, okay? Urges before washing, washing before primping, and everyone washes his own sink.
Now, we're just here temporarily.
Kind of like the Russians in Afghanistan.
Annie, I want to make one thing crystal clear. If we're in the way or we're causing problems of any kind, we expect to hear about it. No punches pulled. I insist.
Sweetest ultimatum I've ever heard.
Mom, we really do appreciate this.
I know.
You know what really annoys me about you, Annie? It's the way you make it so difficult for me to indulge in the great American pastime of trashing your mother-in-law.
Give it a week.
I get it. Thank you, Schneider. Now listen, you two. It's going to be a little crowded around here and probably hectic, but if we all keep calm, I think we can make it work. All right?
Schneider!
Julie! How are you?
Julie! Hi, everybody.
Sweetheart?
Guess what?
What?
We're moving in.
Tune in next week for part 2. Here are some scenes from last week's show.
Hi, Mom.
Barbara, hi.
Hi, all.
Mark, hi. What's with the suitcases?
See, don't panic or anything, but there was an accident down at the house.
Just out of professional curiosity, I went down to see the damages at the rooming house where you used to live.
Used to?
That's right. It's been condemned.
Now, we're just here temporarily.
Kind of like the Russians in Afghanistan.
It's going to be a little crowded around here and probably hectic, but if we all keep calm, I think we can make it work. All right?
Schneider!
Julie! How are you?
Julie! Hi, everybody.
Sweetheart? What's
Guess
up?
what?
What?
We're moving in.
Now, part 2 of Pride and Privacy.
All right, baby. Okay. All right, little Annie. Sweetie, could you run that by me one more time?
Well, actually, Annie and I are moving in. We've left Max.
You've left Max.
But she found another guy who looks just like him.
Okay, Horvath, what gives?
Well, he flew Annie and me up here on one of his flights. There's no reason we can't be civilized about this, right? In fact, we still love each other, don't we?
Don't push it, Nutso.
So much for civilized.
No matter what happens, we still get the big bedroom.
Mom, where do you want Max to put my bags?
Try back in Houston.
Houston. What a quaint idea. Houston, where we used to have an apartment.
Used to?
You know what this fruitcake did? She sublet our apartment to somebody else.
Julie, you didn't.
Mom, there's just too many memories back in that old apartment. Besides, I told you, it's over.
What about little Annie?
Don't do that. Here, give me it.
Careful.
I know how to do it. Look at that. Look so happy and so innocent, you know? Babies have such a childlike quality.
Amazing.
Schneider, Mark, would you put Annie in the bedroom, please?
Sure.
Thanks.
All right, Julie. Is this what you want? Huh? You want me to go back to Texas and live in a motel room? Will that make you happy? Barbara? Shorty? It was nice being part of the family. Too bad it was the part with the insanity in it.
I'm insane? Well, everybody, listen to this. Max refuses to quit his job at the airlines.
And that's why you're leaving him?
That's right.
Insane.
Right.
I rest my case.
Why don't you tell him how much you really hate it, and how miserable you are before a flight, and how miserable you are after a flight, and how miserable you're making life for us because you're so damn miserable?
I am not miserable. I'm perfectly happy. I'm a happy man. I'm very happy.
Max, I thought you really loved being a flight attendant.
Well, he did, but not for his whole life. Max wanted to get into management, but they kept hiring from the outside.
Well, what are we talking about, Horvath? Quit!
And do what? What else am I qualified to do?
To do what you've always wanted
Julie,
to do.
please, don't start,
to
okay?
write.
Right.
Really? Max, I had no idea you wanted to be a writer.
Yeah, well, he's a closet writer.
Annie's fine.
Actually, I never even knew about it until I came across some pages of a novel he was writing.
You brought it?
It's terrific.
It's rotten. It's not... Oh, please, I don't...
That's where you keep his novel in the diaper bag? What do? Knock off a couple of chapters and see if they hold water?
Max, I think it's terrific that you want to write.
So do I. The guy has got to go for his dream. Do it. I mean, where would I be today if I didn't have the courage to change? And I will. You should, too. Hey, I'll go in, take care of it. I know how to keep a baby quiet. All you do is you put a little maple syrup on her fingers, right? Then give her a feather to play with. That'll keep her busy for hours.
Actually, I think Max is a very good writer.
Oh, come on now. It's amateur time. Julie, you and the baby come first.
Max, I'm not helpless. I can get my job back at the clinic.
You're really moving back here?
Well, until we get back on our feet again, I'm sure we could stay here. There's plenty of room, right, Mom?
Funny you should mention room.
Yeah, funny.
Shorty, listen. There's absolutely no way I'm going to move back in here with you.
Good. I mean, you're welcome, Max, but the point of the matter is that we...
Hey, Shorty. Listen, I am not stupid enough to think that just because I bashed out a few pages with words on it, that I'm going to be able to earn my living as a writer.
Well, that's being sensible.
This is very good.
Hey, you think so?
Yes, and this part is hilarious.
Well, you know, it's only a first draft. I'm going to make some changes.
Kidding. This is wonderful.
Sight unseen, I bet this is fabulous. But come on, Max, that doesn't mean...
Okay, you're right. It's just a stupid pipe dream.
Max, you know, I never thought I'd say this to you, but I am. You know what your problem is?
What?
You're afraid to take a chance.
Julie...
Max, you're a coward.
What?
Yeah.
Coward?
Yeah.
Afraid to take a chance, huh? All right, let's see.
Max. Excuse me, Max, but who exactly are you calling?
Afraid to take a... Me, a coward? Hello, Al, please. Al, Max Horvath. Listen, I've had it, Al. I'm giving you my 2 weeks' notice. Oh, really? Well, then I quit right now.
All right! Oh, Max!
Oh, Max.
Oh, God.
I am so proud of you, honey. I knew you'd do it.
6 months, Julie. I'll give it my best shot for 6 months, and after that, if nothing happens, that's it. I've tried, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Shorty, where do you want our stuff? In Barbara's old room?
And now back to Earth.
See, that's the thing. Guess who's sleeping in Barbara's old room?
I am. With her.
You guys are back here?
Yeah, it's a long story involving the housing shortage and an exploding still.
Oh. Well, listen, it's no problem. We've got some loot, and we can go stay in a motel room.
A motel? You're gonna bring that beautiful little baby to some tacky motel? Where's she gonna sleep, in a vibrating crib? Come on, Mr. Romano, this ain't gonna do.
All right. Nobody's gonna stay in any motel. We'll figure something out.
Thanks, Shorty.
Yeah. Hi. Alex, I forgot Alex.
Max,
Hi, Alex.
Julie. Hey, Alex, how you doing? Great. Guess what? What? Max and Annie and I are going to be staying here for a while. That's great. That's great. Here?
It's good. It'll be fun. So, where's everybody gonna be sleeping from now on?
Okay, Alex, I've been thinking about this for the last couple of seconds.
Why don't you bunk downstairs in the captain's quarters with me, huh?
Can I?
Well, Okay. Thank you, Schneider.
I'll go get my stuff. Schneider's place. I'll mature by leaps and bounds.
Okay, listen up, everybody. This has come as a big shock to everyone, including me. And I just want to remind everyone that we all have our own lives to lead, including me, and that if this is going to work, we're all just going to have to respect the other person's privacy, especially mine.
Shorty, don't worry.
What?
You'll never even know we're here.
Oh, she's probably wet.
Coming, Annie.
Come on.
Here, I'll help you with the bags, Max. There you go.
Thanks. Careful.
Well,
No, don't go. Come on in for a little.
into that zoo?
It's almost 1 o'clock. Hopefully, the animals will be sleeping.
Somehow you're convincing me.
Good. Hoping I would. You see, my love, I really enjoy spending some time in my own home with the man I'm crazy about.
I can understand that.
Piece of paper. Gotta have a piece of paper. Oh, God, what a sensational idea.
Max.
Huh?
Sam Max.
Oh, that's my name, too. Hi.
Max.
Yeah.
What's wrong?
Oh, I was fast asleep, and I had this incredible brainstorm. It's an entire novel in one sentence. But I gotta have a piece of paper. I'm gonna forget it. Sam, got a piece of paper? Let me write on your tie. Just a few ideas. I'll remember everything.
Here we go.
Oh, this is paper. Good. Theater tickets. All right. Let me just jot down my ideas in there. Oh, this is dynamite. All right. There's this businessman who feels that the pace of his life is too fast, so he becomes a turtle in a zoo. Only then, the pace of his life is too slow. But now, it's too late because he's stuck being an old turtle. Okay, listen. Let's make believe that a lunatic never came out of the bedroom, okay?
Very good.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just gonna slip off back to La La Land now.
Good night. Would you turn out the light as you leave?
Max, you woke up Annie with your piece of paper.
Julie. Sam, Julie.
Oh,
Julie, nice to meet you.
Sam, Annie, Sam.
Yeah. Listen, we'll be out of your hair in just a second. This usually only takes a verse or two. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Annie, Bob, Annie, banana, fana, Annie.
Care to dance?
Could we keep it just a bit quieter? Mark and I both have big exams in the morning, and fee-fi-fo-fanny is not part of the curriculum.
Listen, why don't we all go back to bed and leave them alone?
Good idea.
Okay.
Good. Okay, I'll try the couch just for tonight.
What is wrong downstairs?
I've never heard anyone snore like that in my entire life. At first, I thought Schneider was kidding because it was one of those cartoon snores, you know, like Rip Van Winkle. I'll never get any sleep tonight.
Max, try that turtle story.
Oh, yeah. Listen.
Never mind.
You guys having a pajama party?
Sweetheart, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. You have school in the morning. We have to go to work. I'm sure everybody could use a little sleep, including Annie here.
Oh, great.
She was so quiet.
I'm sorry. Honest to God, I really am sorry, but every time...
Well, look, it looks like it's gonna be an all-nighter. So, anybody know any novelty songs? She's getting very selective.
I got one.
Really? A turtle song, maybe?
Sure, I'll try it.
All right.
You won't understand it. Oh, how I hate to get up in the morning. Oh, how I'd love to remain in bed. But the hardest blow of all is to hear that bugle call. You gotta get up, you gotta get up, you gotta get up in the morning.
So, Navy?
Marines.
I have major exams tomorrow morning, but am I going to be a spoil sport? No. While you people are partying, I'm going to go down to the library and study. Maybe I was a little hasty.
Okay, how about some hot chocolate? Anybody hot chocolate?
Great idea. I mean, we're up now anyway, right? I might as well.
Listen, Miss Romano, have you got any Bosco?
You know, it's time for Annie's speeding. I hope nobody minds.
No, of course.
Honey, come on and have some hot chocolate, okay?
Oh, for heaven's sakes, Mark.
I know, but it's cute.
Hey, Shorty.
What?
I don't think this milk is any good. You want to smell this? You're trying to poison a large group of people all at once?
It's still okay. The date's
Can you-
okay.
Yeah, but it smells horrible.
All right, we'll use the other carton then, all right?
Marshmallows. Yeah, small ones. The big ones aren't very good.
I can't find any Bosco.
I'm here too.
What about some
Gone 2 days. Wait a minute.
I can't find any Bosco.
Will you excuse us, please, Henry? What is the matter with you, Romano?
I am sorry, Francine. I just faded out there for a second.
Anne, there is a man in there with a checkbook in one hand, a pen in the other, and you go into a trance.
Yeah, I know, but could you just leave me alone? This past week has been so crazy you wouldn't believe it. I have so many people in my house, and then I am trying to have a relationship with
Anne,
and I...
excuse me.
Yes, what?
I would like to say something to you, and I want you to know that I mean this sincerely.
What?
I don't care.
Thanks for the pep talk.
You're welcome. Now, let's get back to work.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Henry.
Oh, Mom, I'm so glad you're not busy. Listen. The lady from the employment agency called, and she's got me 2 interviews, and they both sound great. Max is at the library, and Barbara and Mark are both at school. So I'm going to leave Annie with you, okay?
No,
now, listen, her diaper
sweetheart?
and her bottle are in here, and I'll be back to pick her up later.
Honey.
You are terrific. You're the greatest mother, I swear. Goodbye.
Annie, will you please... When did this happen? All right, Francine, just don't get hysterical, all right? Julie had 2 job interviews to go on, and it figures. Oh, Annie, do something. I am. I'm making her cry. I always make her cry. I do it well, don't I? Shh, Annie. Oh, hold out your hands, Francine.
What?
Here.
Anne, no, Oh, well, my goodness, isn't this nice? Oh, what an exquisite child. Oh, she could be mine. Where are you going? You're not leaving me alone with this baby.
Well, Mr. Kenton is waiting for a presentation.
No, but what if she does something rude, like spit up or something?
Spit back or something. Mr. Kenton, forgive me for the delay. It's just that this has been such a strange day. Well, as a matter of fact, it's been a strange week. I mean, my household is... never mind that. Believe me when I tell you that right now, the only thing on my mind is your...
Yogurt.
Yes, yogurt. That's right. It is yogurt. Could you excuse me for just a minute, please?
Now, this is called lust. It's from France, and it costs $90. Trust me, it's worth every cent.
Francine, what the hell are you doing?
Well, what is going on here? Whose baby is that?
You've heard of the Gerber baby? I would like you to meet the Kenton yogurt baby.
That is not the Kenton yogurt baby. That is my granddaughter, Annie.
Don't tell me she's going to handle my account.
Oh,
Look, is this an advertising agency or a nursery school?
let me tell you something, Mr. Kenton. Do you think that your yogurt is more important than a sweet, precious baby? Well, ha, because I'm going to tell you something. I hate yogurt. It is slimy, it's gooey, and it tastes like spoiled sour cream. You look just like a person who makes yogurt. And you want to know something else? Yogurt sounds just like what it is. Yogurt. Yogurt. So, who wants a damn yogurt account?
Don't say a word.
Oh, Anne, I agree with you completely. Not to worry, it's probably not hereditary.
Oh, boy, I'm hungry. Well, you blew it.
What?
You were supposed to put the potatoes in with the roast an hour ago. Now the roast is going to be ready, but the potatoes are going to be like rocks. You blew it.
I was writing. I got involved.
Yeah.
What does yeah mean?
Nothing.
Wait a second. Let me tell you something. Writing may look easy to you, but each one of these represents an ounce of my blood.
Yeah, you must be ready for a transfusion about now.
That does it. Let me tell you something, Royer. You know, when we first met, I thought you were a pretty nice guy. But during this last week, I realized something.
What?
You're arrogant.
Arrogant?
Yeah, shh. The baby's sleeping. Be quiet.
Well, you and your... Everything okay?
Fine.
Good. I'm real glad to hear that. Now, I am going to get into a hot shower. Mark, when your father calls, will you just ask him to come on over? We're going to an early dinner and a movie. A quiet movie. Maybe a silent movie.
Yeah, well, enjoy your dinner. We here are eating raw potatoes, thank you very much.
Shorty, you know what Chef Boyardee's problem is? He thinks that just because he's going to be a dentist with his own spit sink, he can look down his nose at the rest of us. He's arrogant.
No. This here is the problem.
Hey, keep your mitts off my work, Mr. Root Canal.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Truman Capote. You call that work? Here, I can work. Here, here's a short story. Hey, how about a novel?
Gentlemen, it's been a very difficult day for me, so will you shut up, please?
Hey, I found an apartment.
Thank God.
Actually, it's the basement of this old house on Lombard Street, owned by this cute little old lady with blue hair. And all she cares about is that someone nice lives there. And we're nice.
We are nice.
Yeah.
How much does it cost?
Only $250 a month. And Max, it's perfect. And I know I'm going to get one of those jobs I interviewed for today. There's this tiny little room where you can study, and there's a fireplace. What do you say?
You'll take it.
Wait a second now. We'll take it.
Oh, great. Let's go check on Annie, and then we'll call Mrs. Osgood.
Okay? Call her right now?
Well, come on.
Now, I'm going to stand under that hot shower.
Oh, good, honey, you're home. You're never going to believe this. I found the greatest apartment.
Yeah, I'm not
No,
gonna believe it
listen,
because, you know,
it's
Julie...
the basement apartment of this house, but it's really terrific, and we can afford it. It's got this fireplace. It's got a cute, nice little room where you can study, and it's owned by this cute little old lady with blue hair. Yeah, and she just wants to rent out to somebody
nice.
All I wanted to do was stand under a hot shower.
$250.
Oh, boy.
Okay, look, we can work this out.
Yeah, now we're going to find out who's nice.
Honey?
What's that supposed to mean?
That means we're going to work it out fairly.
Exactly.
Right.
No,
Okay.
it doesn't. It means that he thinks he's entitled to the apartment.
Did I say that?
You meant it. I know.
I told you, I took the message Wanda called.
You could have taken a... Never mind changing the subject.
Who got there first?
One thing into account.
All right, we got
Take one thing into account.
That's the baby.
Why is the baby?
Wanda, I know why you did it. I know why you did it. Because I wouldn't let you watch the basketball game.
Basketball game, that has nothing to do with it. Watch that old movie anytime.
Oh, movie? Yes. Let me tell you. Let me tell you about it.
Jacket, is that funny? What's going on here? Are you finding this funny? Are you getting hysterical? Okay, everybody, that's enough. Hold it down. Okay, shut up. Shut up! Shut up! Is this an apartment or an asylum? What, are you trying to drive her crazy? Will that make you happy? Come on, let's go. It's okay. It's okay. You want me to slap you? Want me to slap them?
Oh, boy, oh, wow. Oh, you want to know what started me off in there?
Sure.
I started thinking about that old Marx Brothers movie where thousands of people were jammed into one tiny stateroom.
Mm-hmm.
And then every time the door opened, somebody else would squeeze in. And finally, Harpo was lying on top of the crowd, honking. I was honking. Nobody was listening.
See. Why don't you come live with me? Honk if you love Sam. Well, they're all old enough to look after themselves. Why let them drive you around the bend? Come on. Move in with me right now, tonight.
Oh, you're crazy.
Yes, sir. Come out.
Oh, Dad, listen. I think I speak for everyone when I say how sorry we are that we acted like such brats.
Yes, Mom. From now on, we're all going to be on our best behavior.
All.
Yeah. We blew the apartment. Somebody else took it.
Hey, does a Mrs. Julie Horvath live here?
Oh, that's me.
Oh, we got your stuff out here.
Oh, great.
Okay, bring it in.
What are you talking about? Well, Mom, I told you I was going to send for my furniture eventually.
Oh, wait. It's not eventual. This may be the stupidest thing you've ever done.
What's so stupid about it? You know how expensive it is to store furniture?
Yeah, we certainly have a lot of room for this junk.
Yes, exactly. What are you crazy?
Thank you very much. If you're around much longer, you're going to be
Sam, is that office still open?
Want to get some clothes and stuff?
I'll buy new.
The first contraction arrives without ceremony, the way most important interruptions do. One moment Julie is still defending the California tank, still speaking of warmth and gentleness and the carefully reserved foundation that will receive her child into water rather than air. The next moment, a low ache moves across her back and the entire architecture of intention begins quietly to collapse. I have never been able to watch this turn without feeling a corresponding shift in my own body. A remembered tightening that has nothing to do with labor and everything to do with the moment when a long-cherished plan is overruled by something more elemental than planning. The body does not care about literature. The body does not care about the temperature of the water in a tank 3,000 miles away. The body simply announces that the time has come and the announcement is final. In the script, the pain is described almost casually at first. It wasn't in front, it was right here across my back, yet the casualness is a form of denial that cannot hold. Anne recognizes it immediately. Catherine recognizes it from the archive of her own labors. Barbara, who has been aligning herself with caution all evening, now watches her sister with a new and more complicated fear. Max is the last to accept what the others already know. He is still speaking of California, still calculating airline schedules, still trying to preserve the vision of the underwater berth even as the vision is being dismantled from the inside. I recognize that particular stubbornness. I have practiced it myself, clinging to an itinerary or a carefully constructed future long after the first clear signal that the future would not arrive on schedule. The mind wants the plan. The body has already moved past it. What the scene understands with almost forensic precision is the way idealism and flesh collide in real time. Julie has done the exercises. She has read the material. She has imagined the dim lights and the warm water and the absence of strangers. She has named the baby in advance, Felicity or Marlark, as if the naming itself could secure the conditions of arrival. None of that preparation is useless. It is simply insufficient. The first back pain is the body's way of saying that the ideal setting is already irrelevant. The child will come where the mother is not where the mother intended to be. I have carried that lesson with me for decades, applying it to every domain in which I once believed careful arrangement could protect against contingency. The job that was supposed to wait. The relationship that was supposed to unfold according to a mutually agreed timeline. The health that was supposed to remain stable until a more convenient season. The body or the world or time itself simply refuses the schedule. The refusal is rarely dramatic at first. It begins as a low ache across the back, easy to misname as fatigue or indigestion or the ordinary strain of carrying a pregnancy to term. Anne's response is immediate and practical. She moves to call Dr. Tishman. The act of reaching for the telephone is itself a quiet repudiation of the California plan. Hospitals, doctors, the ordinary medical network that Julie has been trying to leave behind, these become in the space of a single contraction the only available instruments of safety. I watch Anne's face in my memory of the scene, and I see every mother I have ever known who has had to set aside her child's preferred narrative in favor of the narrative that might keep the child alive. The conflict is never abstract. It is the conflict between the story the daughter needs to tell about herself, autonomous, intentional, capable of redesigning even birth, and the story the mother cannot stop telling. The one in which bodies fail and systems exist for a reason and distance as a form of danger. Anne does not win the argument by force, she simply acts. She dials the number. She reports the pain. She accepts the doctor's instruction to wait and time the next one. In that acceptance there is a sorrow so deep it almost does not register as sorrow, it registers as competence. Julie still tries for a few more minutes to keep the dream intact. She speaks of the foundation of the reserved tank, of the necessity of reaching California. The words have already begun to sound hollow even to her. Max's attempt at humor, "How about Air Express? They guarantee delivery," is the sound of a man trying to keep the tone light while the ground shifts under him. I have made the same kind of joke in the middle of my own collapsing plans. The weak laughter that is really a plea for the universe to restore the original itinerary. The universe does not restore it. The next pain will come. The airline will not take a woman in active labor. The tank in California will remain empty. The child will be born in Indianapolis in the imperfect, overcrowded, fiercely loving air of the only home that is actually available. What lingers for me long after the practical details have been sorted is the particular quality of Julie's realization. She has spent months constructing a birth that would be a pure expression of love and intention. Now the body has introduced an element that cannot be intended away: timing. Timing is the great enemy of idealism. Timing does not care how carefully the literature has been studied or how thoroughly the exercises have been performed. Timing simply arrives. And with it the necessity of improvisation. I think of every young woman I have known who entered labor with a detailed birth plan only to discover hours later that the plan had become a kind of museum piece, a record of what had been hoped for rather than a map of what was actually happening. Some of those women later spoke of the loss with real grief. Others spoke of the relief that came when the need to perform the ideal gave way to the simpler need to get through the event itself. Julie is still in the first stage of that transition. The grief is still louder than the relief. The California tank is still more real to her than the living room in which she is already beginning to labor. Catherine's response carries the authority of lived repetition. She has been through this. She remembers the first pain across the back, the subsequent cascade, the nurse who told her to push the remembered instruction to stick it. Her knowledge is not theoretical. It is the knowledge of a body that has already performed the work and has not forgotten the cost. When she says, "I had my first pain right across the back and then I had 2 million pains in the front," the exaggeration is not comic so much as cumulative. It is the sound of a woman who has already paid the price and who cannot understand why her granddaughter would choose to pay it in an untested medium far from help. I hear in her voice every older woman who has watched a younger one approach a known danger with the confidence that this time the danger will be different. The confidence is necessary. Without it, no one would ever give birth or marry or leave home, or attempt any of the ordinary risks that constitute a life. Yet the older woman's fear is also necessary. It is the record of what the risk has already cost. Barbara's position is more complicated. She has spent the evening agreeing with her mother's caution, and now the caution is being vindicated by the body itself. There is no triumph in the vindication. There is only the uncomfortable knowledge that the safer path is also the path that has for the moment won. I have been the safer sibling in similar moments. I know the particular isolation that arrives when the riskier sibling's plan collapses, and the collapse is treated as proof that caution was correct. The proof does not feel like victory. It feels like a further widening of the distance between the sisters, a distance that began years earlier and is only being measured again in the presence of the first contraction. Max's struggle is the most visible and to me the most poignant. He has been the convert, the one who took the literature seriously, the one who believed the tank would provide the child with a first environment of pure gentleness. Now he must watch that belief become geographically impossible. His repeated insistence that they still have time, that they can still make the flight, is the sound of a man trying to negotiate with physiology. Physiology does not negotiate. The pains will come closer together, the window for travel will close. The only available environment will be the one already surrounding them, the family, the apartment, the imperfect love that has always been the actual medium in which this child will have to live. I think of the young fathers I have known who entered the delivery room with a detailed vision of how the birth would unfold. only to discover that their role was not to enact the vision but to remain present while the vision was dismantled and replaced by something more ordinary and more real. Max is still in the early stage of that discovery. The discovery will continue through the night, through the abandoned bathtub plan, through the lanterns and the soft lights, and the eventual arrival of the doctor. For now, it is only beginning, and the beginning is the first low ache across Julie's back. The telephone call to Dr. Tishman is the formal acknowledgement that the ideal has been superseded by the actual. Anne's voice on the phone is careful, almost apologetic. She had what might have been a labor pain, or then of course it might not have been, yet the apology is really a form of hope. If the pain can still be named as something else, the California plan might still be salvaged. The doctor's instruction to wait and report the next one closes that hope. Waiting is the first act of surrender. Timing the contractions is the second. The third will be the abandonment of the tank altogether. I have made similar phone calls in my own life, calls in which I tried to keep a preferred narrative alive for a few more minutes by describing a symptom as possibly insignificant. The person on the other end of the line, trained to recognize patterns, almost always hears the significance before I am ready to admit it. Dr. Tishman hears it. Anne hears it. Julie is still learning to hear it. What the scene offers finally is a meditation on the limits of intention. Julie's intention was pure. The desire to give her child a gentle threshold into the world was an act of love. The body does not refute the love. It simply refuses the specific form the love tried to take. The refusal is not cruel, it is only absolute. The child will be born in Indianapolis. The water will remain a dream. The actual medium of arrival will be the crowded, noisy, imperfectly prepared air of a family apartment already full of history and fear and stubborn care. I sit with that refusal even now. I feel the particular grief of a plan that was never foolish and was never going to survive contact with the body's own schedule. I feel the particular tenderness of a young woman who must begin in the middle of her first real contraction to let go of the birth she had imagined and accept the birth that is already underway. The idealism does not disappear. It is simply relocated. It moves from the California tank to the smaller, more difficult project of remaining present inside the only circumstances that are actually available. That relocation is the beginning of a different kind of wisdom, the kind the series has always been interested in, tracking the wisdom that arrives when the perfect setting vanishes and only the imperfect love remains. The bathtub has always seemed to me the most ordinary object in Anne Romano's apartment. A white porcelain fixture whose primary purpose was the ordinary cleansing of ordinary bodies at the end of ordinary days. On the night Julie decides it will serve as a womb, the fixture is transformed into something else entirely, a contested site where idealism, fear, medical caution, and maternal improvisation collide with almost physical force. I have returned to this sequence for decades, not because the logistics of water temperature and salt measurement are inherently dramatic, but because the argument that unfolds around the tub reveals with almost painful clarity the moment when a carefully constructed vision of birth is forced to confront the actual architecture of a working-class Indianapolis bathroom. The tub is both the last remaining vessel of Julie's underwater dream and the most visible evidence of how far that dream has already fallen. California has become impossible. The foundation tank is 3,000 miles away. What remains is porcelain, a drain, a few gallons of tap water, and the desperate hope that intention can still be made material in the most domestic of spaces. Julie's insistence is quiet at first and then absolute. I'm just gonna have the baby here in the house, yes, in the bathtub. The sentence is spoken with the particular calm of someone who has already moved past negotiation. Max hears it as a form of recklessness. Anne hears it as a form of danger that must be managed without being directly opposed, because direct opposition will only harden the resolve. Catherine hears it as an affront to every medical certainty she has ever trusted. Schneider, who has been trying to keep the emotional temperature from rising too high, hears it as another problem to be solved with practical action: industrial strength cleansing powder, a thermometer, a calculation of gallons, and PR. Alt-D. I recognize the entire range of responses because I have lived inside versions of them. I have been the person clinging to a diminished version of an original plan long after the original plan became impossible. I have been the person watching someone I love cling to that diminished version and feeling the particular helplessness of knowing that the clinging itself might be the greater risk. The practical details arrive with the force of comedy that is not quite comic. Julie asks Max to calculate how many gallons the tub holds so she can determine the correct amount of salt. She asks for a thermometer. She asks to be helped into the water when the time comes. The requests are precise, almost scientific, as if precision itself could restore the conditions of the California Foundation. Max's resistance is equally precise. He was trained for a large tank for a controlled environment, for the presence of people who knew the method. A bathtub in Indianapolis is not a tank. A husband who has read the literature is not a trained attendant. The distinction is not academic. It is the distinction between a controlled experiment and an improvisation that could in the worst case cost the lives of both mother and child. I have watched similar distinctions collapse in real time between the carefully researched home birth and the sudden need for a hospital transfer. Between the planned natural delivery and the unexpected surgical intervention, the collapse is never clean. It is always accompanied by the particular grief of a vision that must be relinquished while the body is already in motion. Anne's response is to scrub. She reaches for industrial strength cleansing powder with the particular intensity of a woman who cannot control the larger danger and therefore must control every controllable surface. The scrubbing is both practical and symbolic. If the tub cannot be made into a proper birth tank, it can at least be made clean. Cleanliness becomes a proxy for safety. I have seen that proxy enacted in 100 domestic crises. The mother who cleans the entire house the night before a child surgery. The partner who reorganizes the kitchen while waiting for a diagnosis. The friend who washes every dish in the sink while the ambulance is on the way. The action does not change the outcome. It only gives the hands something to do while the mind confronts the limits of what hands can do. Anne scrubs. Schneider offers to inspect. Alex is ordered out of the way. The bathroom becomes a temporary operating theater in which the primary procedure is the attempt to make an ordinary fixture worthy of an extraordinary event. Barbara's intervention is the voice of the younger generation's caution. She has always been the sensible sister, the one whose advice is straight, square, and nauseatingly sensible. When she tries to speak, Julie cuts her off. The rejection is not personal so much as structural. Julie cannot afford in that moment the presence of any voice that might further erode the already diminished plan. I recognize the need for that temporary deafness. There are moments when the only way to keep moving forward is to refuse every input that is not already aligned with the direction of motion. The refusal is costly. It isolates. It leaves the sensible sister standing in the hallway with her unsolicited advice and her unspent care. Barbara absorbs the rejection the way she has absorbed a lifetime of being the one whose caution is both valued and resented. The bathtub argument becomes another chapter in the longer story of two sisters who have never quite learned how to protect each other without also wounding each other. Max's final resistance is the most difficult to watch. He has been Julie's partner in the original vision. He has read the same literature. He has believed with her that the water would provide a first environment of warmth and gentleness and peace. Now, he must become the voice of limitation. I was trained for a big tank in California, not a tub in Indianapolis, and I'm not gonna risk you on what I know. The sentence is an act of love that sounds in the moment like betrayal. Julie hears it as a failure of nerve. Max experiences it as the only form of protection still available to him. I have been on both sides of that exchange. I have been the person whose carefully researched plan was met with a partner's sudden insistence on safety over ideal. I have been the person who had to insist on safety while watching the ideal collapse in the other person's face. Neither position is comfortable. Both are forms of care that cannot in the moment be fully recognized as care by the person toward whom they are directed. The doctor's second refusal arrives like a final seal on the impossibility of the bathtub plan. Dr. Tishman will not come to the house to attend an underwater birth in a residential tub. The risk of malpractice is too high. The absence of monitoring equipment is too complete. Anne's plea that he has delivered both of her children, that he has known the family for years, is met with the institutional boundary that no amount of personal history can dissolve. The boundary is not cruel, it is simply structural. The medical system is not designed to accommodate improvisation of this kind. Julie's response is to abandon the tub rather than abandon the possibility of giving birth at home. The shift is subtle but decisive. The water is relinquished. The bedroom becomes the new site of intention. Soft lights, peaceful colors, the presence of family, these become the remaining instruments of the gentle birth she still hopes to create. The bathtub, which had been the last vessel of the underwater dream, is returned to its ordinary status as a place for ordinary washing. The dream does not die cleanly. It is simply relocated, diminished, made to fit the only architecture that remains available. What the sequence understands, and what I have spent decades learning to articulate, is that the body will accept almost any container if the alternative is no container at all. The California tank was ideal. The Indianapolis bathtub was a compromise. The bedroom with lanterns and family is a further compromise. Each successive container is less perfect than the one before it, and each is still somehow enough. The child will be born, the mother will survive. The family will absorb the event into its ongoing history. The tub itself will return to its ordinary function, carrying no permanent mark of the night it was asked to serve as a womb. I think often of that unmarked quality. Ordinary objects are asked to hold extraordinary weight, and then they are released back into the ordinary. The bathtub does not remember. The people do. I return to this argument whenever I need to remember how quickly a vision can be forced to inhabit a smaller and smaller space. Julie began with a foundation tank in California. She ends the sequence preparing to labor in her mother's bedroom under lanterns borrowed from a samurai-themed beer bust. The distance between those two settings is the distance between pure intention and the actual conditions under which most human events unfold. The series does not mock the intention. It simply refuses to let the intention remain untested by the limits of geography, physiology, and institutional caution. The bathtub is the testing ground. In the space of a single extended argument about gallons, about salt, about documented cases, about the difference between a tank and a tub, the dream is measured against the available architecture and found both necessary and insufficient. Necessary because the desire for a gentle threshold remains intact. Insufficient because the architecture cannot fully support the desire. The scrubbing, the measurements, the telephone calls, the successive refusals, all of it constitutes a kind of ritual of relinquishment. Each practical detail is a small surrender. Each surrender makes the next one possible. By the time Julie accepts that the tub will not be used, she has already begun the deeper work of accepting that the birth will not be the one she planned. The acceptance is not complete. It will continue through the night, through the lanterns, through the doctor's eventual arrival, through the final decision to move toward the hospital, and then the reversal that brings the birth back into the apartment. But the bathtub sequence is the first clear stage of that acceptance. The water is abandoned. The porcelain is returned to its ordinary use. The dream is forced to find another vessel. I sit with that abandoned water even now. I feel the particular grief of a plan that had to be poured out before it could ever be filled. I feel the particular tenderness of a young woman who must learn in the middle of labor that the container is less important than the presence of people who will stay when the container fails. The bathtub was never going to be enough. The series knows this. Julie is only beginning to know it. The knowledge arrives not as a single revelation but as a series of practical defeats: the doctor's refusal, the husband's resistance, the mother's scrubbing, the sister's silenced advice. Each defeat is also a form of protection. Each protection is also a form of loss. The tub holds all of it for a few minutes, and then it holds nothing but ordinary water again. The argument ends. The larger improvisation continues. The child, still unborn, is already teaching everyone in the room the oldest lesson the body has to offer: that intention is real and that intention is never the final authority. The lanterns arrive like a small miracle of misplaced intention. Schneider carries them in from the lodge. relics of a samurai-themed beer bust that somehow survived the evening's earlier chaos, and in the dimming light of Anne's bedroom they become something no one could have planned. The closest approximation the family can still make to the gentle, controlled environment Julie once imagined in California. I have never been able to watch this sequence without feeling a corresponding softening in my own chest, a remembered gratitude for the people who show up with the wrong objects at the right time and by their very wrongness make the moment bearable. The lanterns smell faintly of beer and old smoke. Schneider himself smells of the same. Yet when Alex plugs them in and the soft glow spreads across the walls, Julie's face changes. "That's soft enough for you. Oh, that's lovely." The words are simple, the relief beneath them is not. In the space of a few borrowed lanterns, the room ceases to be merely a bedroom and becomes a temporary sanctuary, imperfect and improvised and somehow sufficient. I think often of the physical comedy that is not quite comedy here. Schneider in his lingering lodge energy still half performing the role of the man who can fix anything with the right prop. Anne watching him with the particular mixture of exasperation and gratitude that has defined their relationship for years. Max holding Julie's hand with a concentration that leaves little room for anyone else's presence. Barbara and Catherine hovering at the edges, ready to be useful and not yet certain how. Alex still young enough to treat the whole event as both crisis and adventure, moving between tasks with the restless energy of a boy who has been told to help and is determined to be seen helping. The lanterns are the visual center, but the real center is the collective decision to create out of whatever materials are at hand a space that might still honor the original desire for warmth and gentleness and peace. The original desire has already been scaled down from a California foundation tank to an Indianapolis bathtub and then to this bedroom. Each scaling down has been a loss. The lanterns are the first object that feels, however briefly, like a gain. Schneider's attempt to speak his love aloud is the sequence's quiet emotional peak, and it remains for me one of the most precisely observed moments of male tenderness in the entire series. He begins awkwardly circling the words, addressing Julie and then Barbara and then Anne and then the boys, never quite landing on a complete sentence until the pressure of the moment forces him past his own defenses. "I mean, you've always been, and Barbara the same with you, and Catherine. Miss Romano. I mean, I feel that. Well, it's just the way I feel." The incompleteness is the point. Schneider is a man who has spent years performing competence as a substitute for belonging. He fixes the plumbing, he makes the jokes, he arrives with the right tool or the wrong lantern at the necessary hour. What he has almost never done is stand still and say without irony or deflection that the people in this room matter to him in a way that exceeds the role of building superintendent. The birth forces the stillness. The soft light makes the deflection harder to maintain. When he finally pushes the words out, the family receives them with a gentleness that feels in the moment like a form of absolution. "Thank you, Schneider. That was beautiful." The response is not exaggerated. It is simply accurate. In a room already crowded with fear and improvisation, the clumsy declaration becomes another kind of lantern. A small source of warmth that no one had known they needed until it appeared. I recognize that clumsiness in the men who populated my own childhood. There was the uncle who could repair any engine but could not say he was proud until the words were forced out of him by someone else's crisis. There was the neighbor who showed up with a casserole and a joke whenever trouble arrived, and who only once late at night on a back step admitted that the casserole was the only language he trusted. Schneider belongs to that lineage. His love has always been practical, expressed in the willingness to stay, to scrub, to fetch, to distract Alex with a task to produce lanterns from a beer bust, as if soft light were simply another item on the list of things a man should be able to provide. The birth requires him to move beyond the practical. It requires him to stand in the soft glow and risk the sentence that has no tool to accompany it. The risk is visible on his face. The relief that follows the speaking is equally visible. I have carried that visible relief with me for decades as a reminder that even the most defended among us can, under the right pressure of circumstance and light, become briefly undefended. Barbara's contribution to the improvised ritual is smaller and sharper. The memory of the favorite sister contest she held at age 11, the joke that she came in third even though she was the only contestant, lands with the particular timing of a woman who has spent the evening being the sensible one and who, now needs for a moment to reclaim a different register. The joke is self-deprecating, but it is also a quiet claim on Julie's attention. In the middle of labor, with the doctor still on the way and the outcome still uncertain, Barbara needs her sister to know that the old hierarchies of preference have shifted, that the difficult daughter and the sensible daughter have at least for this hour moved closer together. Julie's response is laughter, and the laughter as a form of acceptance. I have watched similar jokes offered in similar rooms, the gallows humor that is really a way of saying I am still here, I am still your sister. The history between us is not only the history of who was trusted more. The lantern light makes the exchange possible. In brighter light, the joke might have felt forced. In this soft borrowed glow, it feels exact. Mark's failure to locate the ocean sounds and his substitution of loon calls is another small comedy that opens into something larger. The original plan, already so many times diminished, had included the auditory environment of the sea. What arrives instead is the sound of loons, a call that is itself a kind of lonely music, beautiful and slightly unearthly. The substitution is perfect in its imperfection. Julie does not reject it, she accepts the loons the way she has accepted the lanterns. The way she is learning to accept every successive compromise. The acceptance is not passive, it is an active decision to remain inside the only environment that is actually available. I think of the playlists I once made for moments that refused to unfold according to the playlist. The music still mattered. It simply mattered differently once it became clear that the moment would not be the one I had scored in advance. Catherine's memory of the childhood camping trips, the sleeping bag under the stars, the request for a song, the particular tune I'm Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt completes the improvised ritual. The song is absurd. The memory is not. In the middle of labor with the doctor still minutes away, the grandmother returns the room to an earlier form of care, the care of tucking a child in under an open sky and singing until sleep arrived. The song becomes a bridge between the child Julie once was and the woman who is now bringing a child into the world. I have heard similar bridges constructed in similar rooms, the sudden recollection of a lullaby, the unexpected appearance of a childhood object, the story that begins I remember when you were small and ends by making the present moment feel less isolated from everything that came before. Catherine's voice singing the ridiculous syllables is the sound of continuity. The continuity is fragile. It is also in that hour necessary. When the doctor finally arrives, the soft light and the lanterns and the lingering song have already done their work. The room has been claimed as a site of intention, however diminished. Julie's first request that the baby be born here with family rather than in the cold plastic of a hospital lands with the force of a desire that has already been tested by successive losses and has still not been extinguished. The doctor's counter-offer of an alternate birth center, with double beds and room for family, is a form of institutional compromise that would have seemed generous earlier in the evening. Now it feels to Julie like another dilution. The argument that follows is brief and decisive. The body, the family, the soft light, the residual desire for a non-industrial threshold, all of it converges on the decision to remain. The hospital is not rejected forever. It is simply set aside for the moment, in favor of the only sanctuary the night has managed to construct out of lanterns and loon calls and clumsy declarations of love. I return to this sequence whenever I need to remember how much can be salvaged from the materials at hand. The California tank was perfect and unreachable. The bathtub was a compromise that could not be made safe. The bedroom with Schneider's lanterns is a further compromise that somehow becomes for a few hours enough. The enough is created by the willingness of ordinary people to bring what they have, light from a beer bust, a song from a camping trip. A declaration of love that arrives in pieces, and to offer it without certainty that the offering will be sufficient. Schneider's clumsiness is the emblem of that willingness. He does not know the right words. He does not have the right props. He shows up anyway, smelling of beer and old smoke, carrying lanterns that were never intended for a birth, and in the showing up he becomes part of the only environment that remains possible. The soft light does not erase the fear. It only makes the fear visible in a different register. Faces that would have been harsh under fluorescent bulbs become in the lantern glow simply human. The human is what the original plan had always been trying to protect. In the end, the plan is protected not by water temperature or foundation protocols but by the stubborn presence of people who refuse to leave the room. I sit with that presence even now. I feel the particular gratitude that arises when the wrong objects turn out to be the right ones. I feel the particular tenderness of a man who has spent years expressing care through tools and jokes and who is finally forced by the pressure of soft light and impending birth to express it through the unfinished sentence that is still, somehow complete. The lanterns will be returned to the lodge. The loon calls will be replaced by other sounds. The song will fade. What remains is the knowledge that for a few hours in a bedroom in Indianapolis, a family managed to construct out of whatever was at hand a threshold gentle enough to honor the desire that had brought them this far. The desire was never foolish. The materials were never perfect. The combination of the two remains for me one of the series' most enduring images of what love actually looks like when the ideal setting has already been lost. The birth itself happens in the space between one breath and the next, almost off stage the way the most consequential arrivals sometimes do. One moment, Schneider is still performing his familiar role banter distraction, the slightly too loud presence of a man who needs to be useful, and the next he is on the floor claiming an ether leak that fools no one. When he comes back to himself, the child is already here. What happened? I mean, when is the baby gonna be born? It already was. I missed it. The exchange is pure sitcom timing, yet the emotion beneath it is older and quieter than laughter. Schneider has spent the entire night trying to stay inside the event without ever quite admitting how much the event matters to him. The faint is the body's confession. He could not watch. He could not be present. The compromise is to leave for a few seconds and return to a world that has already changed. I have known men who managed their terror in the same way. Sudden exits. Sudden returns. The claim that something in the air made them weak when the weakness was always already in the chest. The announcement arrives with the particular gravity that ordinary language sometimes acquires when it is asked to carry the extraordinary. It is a beautiful 7-pound 4-ounce baby girl. The numbers are precise, almost clinical, yet they land in the room like a benediction. 7 pounds 4 ounces. The weight of a life that has crossed from the interior dark into the lantern light of an Indianapolis bedroom. I have never been able to hear those words without feeling a corresponding shift in my own body, a remembered gravity that has nothing to do with holding an infant and everything to do with the moment when the future ceases to be theoretical. The child is no longer Felicity or Marlark, the provisional names that belonged to the California plan. She is simply here, screeching and bellowing, already insisting on her own presence with the only instruments available to her. The first sound is not the gentle arrival Julie once imagined in warm water. It is the ordinary, furious, unmistakable cry of a human being who has been forced to exchange one environment for another and is not yet reconciled to the exchange. The naming is the sequence's quietest and most lasting miracle. And they named her Anne. 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 What else could they name her? The repetition is not comic. It is the sound of a recognition so complete it requires saying 3 times before it can be believed. The child is named for the woman whose house became the unexpected site of her arrival. The woman who scrubbed the tub that was never used, who called the doctor, who managed the fear without ever fully voicing it, who made the guava pudding that no one finished, and who will in the years to come become the gravitational center of this child's earliest world. I think often of the decision. In the middle of labor with the original plan already in ruins, Julie and Max choose the name that anchors the child to the imperfect, overcrowded, fiercely loving present rather than to the ideal future that never arrived. Anne. Annie. The diminutive will come later. The soft familiar that the family will use when the formal name feels too large for a small body. But the root remains. The child is named for the mother who did not give birth to her and who nevertheless made the birth possible by refusing to leave the room. Schneider's recovery is its own small drama. He has missed the central event, and the missing becomes a kind of permanent footnote to his presence in the family. I thought I was too old-fashioned for something like this, but I wouldn't have missed this for anything in the world. The sentence is offered as compensation for the feint, yet it contains a truth larger than the compensation. Schneider has spent years at the edge of this family, performing the role of the man who can be counted on. For the practical and the comic, the birth forces him to admit that the edge was always closer to the center than he allowed himself to know. The admission is clumsy as his admissions usually are. It is also complete. I have watched similar admissions in the men who hovered at the edges of my own family's crises, the neighbor who arrived with tools and stayed for the aftermath. The uncle who made the jokes until the jokes were no longer possible and then simply stayed. The staying is the real declaration. The words are only the after-image. Julie and Max's first private moment with the child is staged with a tenderness that the series rarely allows itself to sustain for long. "Hi baby, I'm daddy. Did you get all washed up and waited? Here's your beautiful mommy." Max's voice is different here, softer, stripped of the defensiveness that marked his earlier arguments about the tank and the tub. He is no longer the man trying to preserve a vision. He is simply a father meeting his daughter under lantern light that still smells faintly of beer. Julie's response is the exhausted, exalted recognition that the body has done what the body came to do. "Oh Max, let's have another one." The line is pure postpartum bravado, the kind of statement that will be remembered later with laughter and a slight wince. In the moment it is simply the sound of a woman who has crossed a threshold and has not yet felt the full weight of the crossing. I have heard versions of that line from women I love in the hours after birth, the sudden conviction that the ordeal was survivable and therefore repeatable, the conviction that will fade as the ordinary difficulties of the first weeks arrive. The series lets the bravado stand without correcting it. The correction will come later in the form of sleepless nights and the slow renegotiation of every previous plan. For now, the bravado is allowed to be true. Anne's observation that every baby she has ever seen looked exactly alike except this one is the grandmother's claim on particularity. It is also a quiet correction of the earlier fear. The child who was supposed to arrive in California water has arrived instead in Indianapolis air, and the arrival has not diminished her. She is gorgeous in the specific way that one's own becomes gorgeous, the way that overrides every previous generalization about the appearance of newborns. I recognize that override. I have watched it happen in the faces of people I love when they first hold a child who belongs to them by blood or by the longer claim of care. The general becomes particular. The particular becomes the only standard that matters. Anne's voice carries the particular authority of a woman who has already raised 2 daughters, and is now beginning the different work of loving a grandchild. The work is lighter in some ways and heavier in others. The lightness is the absence of the daily responsibility. The heaviness is the knowledge that the daily responsibility belongs to someone else. Someone whose choices will shape the child in ways the grandmother can influence but cannot control. The rain is the final, almost private grace note. "Hey, for your information, Mommy, it's been raining for about an hour. Can you believe it? The water that was supposed to receive the child has arrived anyway, not in a tank but in the ordinary weather of an Indianapolis night." The series does not underline the parallel. It simply lets the rain fall, a soft, persistent presence beyond the windows. While inside the room, the family absorbs the fact of the child who was not born underwater, and who is nevertheless here. I have always experienced that rain as a form of quiet benediction. The original plan required water. The actual birth occurred without it. The weather supplies what the plan could not as a substitute but as a reminder that the elements continue their own work regardless of human intention. The child is named Anne. The rain falls. The lanterns continue to glow. The miracle is not the one that was designed. It is the one that occurred. What stays with me long after the specific images have faded is the particular quality of the joy that fills the room once the fear has been replaced by the fact of the child. The joy is not pure. It is mixed with exhaustion, with the residual adrenaline of the long night, with the knowledge that the California vision has been permanently retired. Yet the mixture does not diminish the joy, it only makes it specific. This is not the joy of a plan fulfilled. It is the joy of a plan transformed by contact with the actual. The actual includes Schneider on the floor, the loon calls the borrowed lanterns, the grandmother's absurd song, the mother's quiet competence, the father's sudden softness, the child's furious first cry. All of it belongs to the arrival. None of it was in the original literature. I return to this sequence whenever I need to remember that the most lasting arrivals are rarely the ones we design. Julie designed a birth of warmth and gentleness and controlled water. What she received was a birth of lantern light and family noise and the ordinary weather of a city that was never part of the plan. The child is no less present for the difference. The love is no less real. The name Annie anchors the child to the woman and the house and the imperfect night that made the arrival possible. In the years that follow, the child will be raised inside the ongoing experiment of this family with all its overcrowding and its renegotiated boundaries and its stubborn refusal to let go of one another. The underwater dream will become a story told with laughter and a slight shake of the head, the rain, the lanterns, the clumsy declarations. The naming these will become the actual origin story, the one that requires no foundation tank and no carefully measured salt. Only the willingness to remain in the room when the ideal setting has already been lost and to receive with whatever grace is available the child who arrives anyway. The book is called Economic Concepts and Monetary Quotations, and in the soft light of the apartment it looks almost illicit. The kind of text a young woman might hide from a husband who still believes their life is already complete. Barbara studies it with the particular intensity of someone who has decided quietly and without announcement that the life she is living is no longer large enough for the person she is becoming. I have never been able to watch this stretch of the series without feeling a corresponding tightness in my own chest, a remembered pressure that has nothing to do with retail hierarchies, and everything to do with the moment when a person looks up from the ordinary tasks of a day and realizes that the ordinary has begun to feel like a ceiling rather than a floor. Barbara wants to be assistant buyer at Olympia Sporting Goods. She wants the title, the modest increase in pay, the small but measurable proof that she is more than a clerk who folds shirts and answers the telephone. She studies like mad. She takes the test. She beats Harry by 50 points and ties with Linda. And then the job goes to Linda because Linda went to college and Barbara did not. The sentence that follows the news is one I have carried for decades. I'm still a clerk. 4 words spoken with the flat finality of a door closing on a future that had briefly seemed possible. The words are not dramatic. They do not need to be. They contain the entire weight of a young woman discovering that competence is not enough, that the invisible credential of a degree still functions as a gate even when the work itself has already been mastered. I recognize that discovery. I have made it in my own life in rooms where the quality of the work was never in question and the question of credentials still decided the outcome. The shame that follows is particular. It is not the shame of failure. Barbara did not fail the test. It is the shame of having been measured against a standard she was never told would matter until the moment it was used to exclude her. The conversation that unfolds between Barbara and Mark is one of the series' most precise examinations of how ambition and marriage negotiate their terms in the early 1980s. Mark loves her. He tells her she is already somebody. He means it. Yet the reassurance lands with the particular inadequacy of all reassurances that come from outside the wound. There's nobody more somebody than you. The line is tender and true and insufficient. Barbara does not need to be told she is somebody to Mark. She needs to be somebody to herself in a language the world of work will recognize. The distinction is not trivial. It is the distinction between being valued inside a private relationship and being valued inside the public systems that distribute opportunity and status. Mark cannot give her the second form of value, no husband can. The knowledge sits between them like a third presence in the room. Anne's response carries the complicated authority of a mother who has been waiting years for this particular reckoning. You said all along I should have gone to college. I belong in college right now. Barbara's accusation is also a confession. The college ghost has been present in the family for a long time, the road not taken that Anne has never fully stopped mourning on her daughter's behalf. Anne does not gloat. She does not need to. The facts have done the work for her. I'm not gonna apologize for having been more or less right. You weren't more or less right. You were absolutely right. The exchange is painful in its honesty. Anne has carried the belief that college was right for Barbara the way some mothers carry the belief that a particular marriage or a particular city would have been right. The belief was never neutral. It was a form of care that sometimes felt to the daughter like a form of pressure. Now the pressure has been vindicated by the marketplace, and the vindication is almost harder to bear than the original disagreement. What the scene understands with particular clarity is the gendered dimension of the missed education. Barbara is not only confronting the absence of a degree, she is confronting the way that absence has been shaped by the expectation that a young wife's primary project is the support of her husband's future. She has been helping Mark through dental school. The help was freely given and genuinely meant. Yet the help has also functioned as a deferral of her own trajectory. When she says she does not want anyone making Mark feel that he is holding her back, the sentence is both protective and self-erasing. I have heard versions of that sentence from women of Barbara's generation and my own, the careful insistence that the husband's path must remain undisturbed even while the wife's path is being quietly narrowed by the same arrangement. The series does not judge the arrangement. It simply lets the cost become visible in the moment when the job goes to the woman who did not make the same deferral. The decision to return to school arrives not as a triumphant declaration but as a reluctant necessity. Barbara first refuses. Everything stays the same. Do you hear me? The refusal is the last defense of the life she has been living, the life in which she is Mark's wife and a clerk and the sensible daughter and the person who does not make trouble. The defense cannot hold. The shame of still being a clerk is stronger than the fear of disrupting the marriage. When she finally tells Mark she is going back to college, the words are offered with a kind of desperate hope that he will receive them as a shared project rather than a threat. I'm gonna go back to school, college with you and everybody. The inclusion of "with you" is the residual caretaking impulse, the need to frame her own ambition as something that will not leave him behind. Mark's response is immediate and generous. I like it. In fact, I think it's terrific. The generosity is real. It is also about to be tested by the actual logistics of two people trying to inhabit full academic lives inside the same small income and the same small apartment. I think often of the cultural moment in which this decision is made. The early 1980s still carried the residual optimism of the previous decade's feminist gains, yet the practical infrastructure for combining marriage, education, and work remained incomplete. Barbara is not trying to become a different kind of woman so much as she is trying to complete the woman she already is. The completion requires credentials the marketplace still demands. The credentials require time and money the marriage does not easily supply. The tension is not abstract. It will play out in missed dinners and exhausted midnights, in the slow erosion of the private time that once made the marriage feel spacious. The series will track that erosion with care. For now, the decision itself is still new enough to feel like possibility rather than burden. The ghost of the missed education does not disappear once the decision is made. It simply changes form. It becomes the knowledge that the years spent not in college cannot be recovered, that the dances and the panty raids and the ball games Anne mentions with a kind of wistful secondhand nostalgia are permanently lost. Barbara's response to that inventory is telling. She does not mourn the social rituals. She mourns the practical skill. I'm good at figures. I have a feel for business. I would have been a great assistant buyer. The grief is specific. It is the grief of aptitude that was never given the institutional recognition that would have allowed it to become a career. I have known that grief in people who discovered too late that the thing they were naturally good at required a piece of paper they had never been encouraged to pursue. The paper is arbitrary. The systems that require it are not. Barbara's return to school is an attempt to acquire the paper while there is still time for it to matter. Mark's support is complicated by his own unfinished path. He is still in dental school. The marriage has been organized around the assumption that his education is the primary investment and Barbara's work is the supporting income. When she announces that she will pursue her own degree at the same time, the organization of the marriage is quietly rewritten. The rewrite is necessary. It is also frightening. 2 full schedules, 2 sets of tuition, 2 sources of fatigue. The series will spend the subsequent episodes exploring the practical consequences. What this sequence establishes is the emotional premise that Barbara can no longer accept a life in which her own aptitude is permanently deferred. The acceptance of that premise is the beginning of a different kind of marriage, one in which the support will have to flow in both directions or not at all. I return to this stretch of the story whenever I need to remember how ambition first announces itself inside a life that was supposed to be already settled. It does not announce itself with clarity or confidence. It announces itself as restlessness, as the sudden inability to find the popcorn, as the late-night study of economic concepts that look to a loving husband like a form of smut. It announces itself as the shame of still being a clerk after the test has already been passed. It announces itself as the quiet decision to stop protecting everyone else from the knowledge that the current arrangement is no longer enough. Barbara's college ghost has been waiting for years. When it finally steps forward, it does not come as a stranger. It comes as the part of herself she has been trying not to disappoint, the part that knew even while she was helping Mark through dental school that the help was also a form of self-postponement. The postponement is over. The work of making the new arrangement livable is only beginning. The series, in its stubborn, affectionate way, will refuse to pretend the work is easy. It will only insist that the work is necessary and that the woman who has decided to begin it is already in the only ways that finally matter somebody. The notes are the first evidence that the marriage has begun to live on paper. Half a grapefruit, a bowl of cornflakes, all my love, P.S. There's no milk. $2 for the electric bill. Hope you have the rest. P.S. I picked up the milk. I have never been able to read those exchanged scraps without feeling the particular ache of a love that is still intact and already rationed. Barbara and Mark are not failing each other. They are simply running out of the unscheduled hours in which a marriage used to breathe. The college decision has rewritten the household economy of time. 2 full schedules, 2 sets of deadlines. 2 people who once met in the middle of the day and now meet, if they meet at all, in the thin residual minutes after midnight when both are too tired for anything more complicated than the acknowledgement that the other is still there. The notes are tender. They are also the sound of a couple learning to conduct their intimacy through the only medium that the new arrangement still permits, the written word left on a counter, the small practical care that can be performed in absence. I recognize that economy of absence. I have lived inside versions of it, the seasons when 2 people who love each other begin to communicate primarily through logistics because the logistics have become the only shared language that still fits inside the available hours. The milk is bought. The bill is partially paid. The love is declared in a postscript because the body of the note is already occupied by the necessary. Mark's silence is not the silence of withdrawal. It is the silence of a man who is trying to keep up with a schedule that was already full before his wife's ambition added a second full load. Dental school does not become lighter because Barbara has enrolled in college. It simply becomes one of 2 competing gravitational forces inside a single small apartment. The silence that grows between them is the silence of 2 people who have not yet learned how to protect a third space, the space of the marriage itself, from the demands of the other 2. The austerity pact arrives as a practical solution and reveals itself almost immediately as an emotional one. Extra hour at the store. 10 extra t-shirts a week. No lunches, no movies. Dinners at Anne's whenever possible. The list is offered with the brittle optimism of people who still believe that discipline can solve what time has broken. I have made similar lists in my own life, the careful arithmetic of what can be cut so that what matters might still be preserved. The cutting always works for a while. The preservation is more complicated. What Barbara and Mark are trying to preserve is not only the money for tuition and rent. They are trying to preserve the feeling that the marriage is still a place of arrival rather than another task on the list. The austerity measures buy them a slower rate of going under. They do not buy them the evenings in which they once remembered why they wanted to be under the same roof in the first place. The night Barbara offers to quit school is the sequence's most painful examination of how love can begin to look like self-erasure. Mark has flunked a test. The failure is ordinary, the kind of setback every student absorbs and continues past. Barbara's response is not ordinary. She offers to leave college until he graduates to restore the previous arrangement in which her own trajectory was the one that could be postponed. The offer is made with the particular calm of someone who has already rehearsed the sacrifice and found it bearable. Mark's refusal is immediate and absolute. I don't accept sacrifices. The sentence is an act of love that also functions as a boundary. He will not allow the marriage to be saved by the quiet deletion of her ambition. I have been on both sides of that exchange. I have been the person who offered to make myself smaller so that the other person might have more room. I have been the person who refused the offer because the smallness would have cost more than the room it created. Neither position is simple. Both are forms of care that cannot in the moment be fully received as care. The rose is the detail that undoes me every time. Mark bought it on Monday. He has been carrying it through the week of missed connections and exhausted midnights, waiting for a moment that never quite arrives. When he finally produces it, the flower is already a record of the time that has passed rather than a gesture that occupies the present. I got it for you on Monday, but I didn't have time to give it to you. The sentence contains the entire problem. The intention was intact. The time required to deliver the intention was not. I think of every gift I have carried too long, every plan for tenderness that became through delay a small memorial to the tenderness that could not find its hour. The rose is still beautiful, it is also already a little tired. The marriage in that moment looks the same way, still beautiful, already a little tired, still trying to deliver what was meant days earlier. The improvised domesticity that follows is both comic and quietly devastating. Spaghetti from a can. Rolls warmed under an electric blanket turned to 9. The still in the basement that will later explode and rewrite their housing situation entirely. These are the materials out of which Barbara and Mark are trying to construct the feeling of a shared life. The materials are insufficient. They are also what is available. I have eaten similar meals in similar seasons. The food that is less about nourishment than about the insistence that a meal still happened, that the two people still occupied the same kitchen even if they occupied it at different hours. The electric blanket warming the rolls is a perfect emblem of the larger improvisation. The ordinary appliance is asked to perform a function it was never designed for. The marriage is asked to do the same. Both continue to function after a fashion. Both show the strain. What the sequence understands with particular clarity is the way dual ambition rewrites the private language of a marriage. Before college, Barbara and Mark could still speak in the shorthand of people whose days contained overlapping empty space. After college, the empty space has been filled with classes and shifts and study and the extra T-shirts that pay for the classes. The shorthand remains, but it is increasingly conducted through notes and postponed gestures and the shared knowledge that both are too tired to unpack the larger feelings. Mark's silence is not empty. It is full of the things he does not have the hours to say. Barbara's determination is not hard. It is the determination of someone who has already discovered what it costs to remain a clerk and is no longer willing to pay that cost even if the alternative exacts a different price from the marriage. The cultural pressure of the early 1980s sits over the entire arrangement like weather. This is not yet the era of widespread institutional support for students who are also partners and workers. There is no flexible scheduling, no readily available childcare, no cultural script that makes the simultaneous pursuit of two demanding paths feel normal. Barbara and Mark are inventing the script as they go, and the invention is exhausting. The series does not pretend otherwise. It lets the exhaustion remain visible in the missed connections, the half-eaten meals, the rose that arrives too late, the offer to quit that is refused and then partially regretted. The refusal is correct. The regret is also real. Both can be true at the same time. I return to this stretch of the story whenever I need to remember how love actually behaves under the pressure of two full schedules. It does not disappear. It becomes quieter, more practical, more dependent on the small written proofs that the other person is still thinking of the shared life even while living a separate set of deadlines. It becomes the $2 left for the electric bill and the milk that was finally bought. It becomes the rose carried through a week of absence. It becomes the electric blanket asked to do the work of an oven. It becomes the difficult knowledge that the marriage will survive only if both people continue to refuse the solution that would make one of them smaller. Mark's silence is part of that refusal. He does not fill the remaining minutes with reassurance that everything is fine. He simply stays inside the difficulty without trying to solve it by deleting Barbara's ambition. The staying is the love. The silence is the form the love takes when there is not enough time left for anything more eloquent. The austerity pact will not hold forever. The still will explode. The housing will collapse. The family will absorb them back into Anne's already crowded apartment. But before those larger disruptions arrive, there is this quieter one, the slow discovery that two people can love each other completely and still run out of the hours in which that love can be fully inhabited. The discovery is not a failure. It is the ordinary cost of trying to become more than one thing at a time inside a structure that was designed for people who were willing to remain only one. Barbara is no longer willing. Mark is no longer willing to ask her to be. The marriage, under the pressure of that double unwillingness, begins the long work of becoming large enough for both of them. The work is not graceful. It is conducted through notes and postponed roses and meals that are improvised out of whatever the day has left behind. It is nevertheless the only work that matters. The series, in its stubborn affection for these two people, refuses to pretend the work is easy. It only insists that the work is possible and that the possibility is worth the exhaustion it exacts. The explosion is almost elegant in its timing. Somewhere in the basement of the rooming house, Jess is still already smoking and shaking and making the weird noises that were supposed to keep the revenuers away, reaches the limit of its improvised engineering and lets go. No one is hurt. The only casualty is the building itself, or rather the building's right to continue existing as a legal place for young couples to live while they try to become the people they have decided to be. When the housing inspector arrives, drawn by the blast, he finds wiring and plumbing that have been failing quietly for years. The still is the only thing that passes inspection. Everything else is condemned. I have never been able to watch this turn of events without feeling a small private satisfaction at the logic of it. The illegal thing survives. The ordinary infrastructure of daily life does not. The metaphor is almost too clean, and yet it is exactly how these collapses often arrive. Not through the dramatic failure of the risky choice, but through the sudden exposure of everything that had been quietly deteriorating underneath the risk. Barbara and Mark arrive at Anne's door with suitcases and the particular expression of people who have already begun to narrate the situation as temporary. Don't panic or anything, but there was an accident down at the house. The language is careful, almost apologetic. They are not asking to move in. They are reporting an incident and requesting a brief harbor. One night, maybe a couple of nights. Just until the wiring and the plumbing can be sorted. Or until Jeff finishes scouting the campus for a new place. I recognize the careful language. I have used it myself, standing at the doors of people I loved, holding the bag that contained more than I was willing to admit, insisting that the stay would be short so that the asking would not feel like a permanent rearrangement of the household. The insistence is a form of pride. It is also a form of magical thinking. The one night becomes 3, the 3 become a week. The week becomes the slow realization that the temporary has no natural endpoint, only the ongoing negotiation of how long pride can hold out against necessity. Mark's discomfort is the most visible and to me the most poignant. He has a thing about getting married, moving out and then coming back to live with the folks. The thing is not abstract. It is rooted in a childhood memory of mouth brooders, the saltwater catfish whose young return to the mother's mouth for protection, and if they remain too long or prove too weak are simply eaten. The story is absurd and exact. Mark tells it with the particular intensity of a man who needs the people in the room to understand that his resistance is not about Anne, not about the quality of the hospitality, but about a deeper terror of remaining the child who never quite managed to stay outside. I have carried versions of that terror myself. The fear of returning to the parental house after having declared oneself adult, the fear that the return will be read by oneself if by no one else, as evidence that the adulthood was never fully achieved. Mark's mouth brooder parable is a way of saying that he would rather risk the cold water outside than the possibility of being consumed by the safety he once required. Anne's response carries the authority of lived counter-evidence. She lived with her own mother-in-law for 8 days after she first married. 7 days too long. The memory is offered not as a warning but as a form of solidarity. She knows what it costs to return. She knows the particular erosion of dignity that accompanies the suitcase in the childhood bedroom. The negotiation of bathroom schedules, the sudden visibility of one's married life inside the house where one was once only a daughter. And still she opens the door. The opening is not uncomplicated. There is the private calculation of space of the romantic evening with Sam that will now be postponed, of the quiet that will no longer be quiet. There is also the older, deeper knowledge that the alternative, sending them back into a condemned building or a motel with a vibrating bed for the baby they do not yet have, is not available to her. The maternal door, once opened to a child in genuine need, is almost impossible to close again without a violence she is not willing to commit. The chameleon under the bed is the detail that makes the whole sequence feel to me like a dream someone else is having. Felix, Alex's new pet, has run under the bed and turned the color of lint balls and dirty socks. Mark is told to watch out for him. The warning is practical and slightly surreal, the kind of detail that accumulates when a household designed for one configuration of people is suddenly asked to absorb another. I think of the objects that appear in every temporary living arrangement I have ever known, the pet that belongs to someone else, the childhood furniture that still carries the indentations of a body that has not slept there in years, the bathroom shelf that must be cleared to make room for a second set of toiletries. These objects are not hostile. They are simply evidence that the space was already inhabited by a life that did not include the new arrivals. The chameleon matching the lint is a perfect emblem of the larger camouflage everyone is attempting. Barbara and Mark are trying to become temporary, to blend into the household without altering its essential color. The attempt is doomed. Bodies take up space. Histories take up more. Schneider's inspection report arrives with the particular glee of a man who has found a story that confirms his worldview. The rooming house was a disaster. The only thing that passed was the still. He has seen worse only once, on a pig farm in a place whose name he pronounces with the relish of someone who has been waiting years to use it. The report is comic. It is also a form of absolution. If the building was already failing, then the explosion was not a catastrophe so much as a revelation. Barbara and Mark are not the victims of bad luck. They are the beneficiaries of a truth that would have emerged eventually. The framing is generous. It allows them to narrate the return to Anne's as a response to external force rather than internal failure. I have needed similar framings in my own returns. The job that ended. The lease that was not renewed. The relationship that collapsed. Anything that lets the temporary arrangement feel like a response to weather rather than a referendum on one's capacity to remain independent. The negotiation of terms is conducted with the careful formality of people who are trying not to damage the relationships that will have to survive the arrangement. Barbara and Mark insist on paying room and board. Anne accepts with the particular reluctance of a mother who would rather give the help freely and who knows that the acceptance of money is itself a form of help. It allows the children to feel that they are not entirely dependent. The bathroom priorities are established. Urges before washing, washing before primping, everyone washes his own sink. The rules are practical and slightly absurd, the kind of micro-legislation that appears whenever too many adults attempt to share fixtures designed for fewer bodies. I have lived under similar micro-legislations. They are the sound of people trying to preserve dignity inside conditions that make dignity difficult. What the sequence understands, and what I have spent years learning to articulate, is that the return to the mother's house is never only about housing. It is about the reactivation of every previous version of the self that once lived there. Barbara is no longer only Mark's wife and a college student. She is also the daughter who once occupied the bedroom that must now be shared. Mark is no longer only a dental student and a husband. He is also the son-in-law who must perform gratitude without performing submission. Anne is no longer only the woman who has built a life that includes a romantic partner and a certain amount of evening quiet. She is also the mother whose door cannot stay closed when the alternative is her child's genuine precarity. The roles do not replace each other, they accumulate. The accumulation is the source of both the comfort and the strain. The mouth brooder story continues to haunt the edges of the arrangement. Mark's fear is not that Anne will consume him. His fear is that the act of returning will reveal a weakness he has spent years trying not to acknowledge. The weak among the mouth brooder young are the ones who keep darting back. The strong are the ones who eventually stay outside. Mark needs to believe he is among the strong. The suitcases by the door are evidence that the belief is being tested. I have watched similar tests in the lives of people I love, the adult child who returns after a divorce, after a job loss, after the kind of illness that makes independent living temporarily impossible. The return is practical. The meaning assigned to the return is almost never only practical. It becomes a referendum on whether the adulthood was real, whether the independence was earned, whether the safety of the parental house is a resource or a trap. Anne's 8 days with her mother-in-law remain the quiet counterweight to Mark's parable. She survived it. She left. The marriage continued. The knowledge she carries is that temporary is a real category even when it feels in the middle of it like a permanent condition. The knowledge does not make the current arrangement easy, it only makes it endurable. She opens the door. She accepts the payment. She postpones the evening with Sam. She watches the chameleon under the bed and the suitcases in the hallway and the careful, proud faces of the young couple who are trying so hard not to need what they clearly need. The watching is its own form of labor. It is the labor of holding the space open without letting the openness become a claim on their future. I return to this sequence whenever I need to remember how quickly the structures we live inside can be revealed as provisional. The rooming house looked until the still exploded like a reasonable place for a young married couple to begin. The explosion did not create the failure. It only exposed the failure that had been accumulating in the walls and the wires and the pipes. Barbara and Mark's return to Anne's is the same kind of exposure. The marriage looked until the housing collapsed. Like a structure that could contain 2 full schedules and the ordinary difficulties of becoming, the collapse does not mean the marriage is failing. It only means that the container was smaller than the lives it was asked to hold. The mother's house becomes the temporary larger container. The temporary will have its own costs, the eroded privacy, the reactivated roles, the mouth brooder fear that Mark will carry to bed each night. The costs are real. The alternative was a condemned building or a motel room that would have exacted a different and possibly steeper price. The still is gone. The rooming house is condemned. The suitcases are in the hallway. The chameleon has the color of whatever it is hiding against. And somewhere in the middle of all of it, a young couple and a mother are beginning the long, awkward, necessary work of learning how to share a roof without anyone being consumed by the sharing. The work is not elegant. It is conducted through rules about bathroom order and the careful exchange of money and the repeated insistence that the arrangement is temporary. The insistence is both true and incomplete. Temporary is real. What it is temporary on the way toward remains for now unwritten. The series in its stubborn patience with these people will let the unwritten remain unwritten for as long as it takes them to write it. For this one night or this one week, or however long the pride and the necessity require, the door stays open. The lanterns from the birth are gone. The soft light of ordinary family complication has taken their place. It is less romantic. It is no less a form of care. The manuscript has been living in the diaper bag. That single detail has stayed with me longer than almost any other image in this stretch of the series, the pages of a novel folded among the ordinary equipment of early parenthood. The secret ambition carried alongside the wipes and the spare onesies and the bottle. Max has been writing in the margins of a life that was supposed to be sufficient. He has been a flight attendant who wanted to be in management and was repeatedly passed over for people hired from outside. He has been a husband who performed contentment while the contentment slowly curdled into a private misery that Julie could feel even when he denied it. And underneath both of those roles he has been a man with a stack of pages that no one was supposed to see until the night the pages become the only remaining argument for a different future. I have never been able to think about that diaper bag manuscript without feeling a corresponding pressure in my own chest. The remembered weight of every private project I ever carried through years of practical work. The pages or the sketches, or the notes that waited for a permission that no external authority was ever going to grant. Julie is the one who forces the permission into the open. She has already left the Houston apartment, already sublet it, already arrived at her mother's with Annie and the declaration that the marriage is over, or at least paused, because Max refuses to quit the job that is making him miserable. The framing is dramatic, almost operatic, and it works. Max appears. The argument that follows is the kind of marital confrontation that can only happen when one person has finally decided to stop protecting the other from the truth. Why don't you tell him how much you really hate it, and how miserable you are before a flight, and how miserable you are after a flight, and how miserable you're making life for us because you're so damn miserable? The repetition of miserable is not elegant. It is exact. Julie has been living with the residue of Max's unacknowledged unhappiness for long enough that the residue has become her own. I recognize that transfer. I have watched it happen in relationships I have known, and in relationships I have been inside, the slow seepage of one person's unlived life into the shared atmosphere until both people are breathing it. Max's defense is the defense of a man who has already made a series of practical compromises and is not yet ready to admit that the compromises have failed. He liked the job once. He wanted management. The airline kept hiring from outside. What else is he qualified to do? The questions are real. They are also the questions of someone who has not yet allowed himself to treat the pages in the diaper bag as a serious answer. Julie's counter is ruthless in its care. She has found the novel. She has read it. She thinks it is terrific. She thinks the refusal to pursue it is a form of cowardice. The word lands, with the force of a verdict that has been waiting years to be spoken. You're afraid to take a chance. You're a coward. I have been called worse things, but I am not sure I have been called anything more precisely wounding. The accusation of cowardice when it comes from the person who knows the private work you have been doing in the margins is not an insult. It is a diagnosis. Max receives it as both. The telephone call that follows is one of the series' purest instances of a life changing in the space of a single conversation. Max dials the airline. He gives 2 weeks' notice. When the response on the other end is unsatisfactory, he quits on the spot. The impulsiveness is both courage and panic. I have made similar calls in which the decision that had been deferred for years was suddenly compressed into the length of a phone conversation because the alternative was to continue breathing the atmosphere of a life that had become unlivable. The compression is dangerous. It does not allow for the ordinary safeguards of financial planning or contingency. It only allows for the clean break. Max makes the clean break. 6 months, he tells Julie. He will give the writing his best shot for 6 months, and after that, if nothing happens, the experiment ends. The deadline is a form of self-protection. It is also a form of residual practicality, the flight attendant's habit of thinking in measurable intervals of time. 6 months. The pages will have to become something more than pages in that window, or the sky will have to take him back. What the sequence understands with particular clarity is the class dimension of the gamble. Max is not a man with a trust fund or a spouse whose income can indefinitely underwrite an artistic apprenticeship. He is a flight attendant who has been living on airline wages with a newborn and a wife who has already demonstrated her willingness to leave when the misery became contagious. The decision to write is not made from a position of security. It is made from a position of having already run out of other options that preserve the self. I have known people who made similar decisions, leaving the stable job, the union position, the work that paid the rent but cost too much in daily self-erasure. Some of them found the other side. Some of them returned to the original work with the particular quiet of people who have tested a limit and found it. The series does not promise Max success. It only grants him the 6 months and the overcrowded bedroom in Anne's apartment in which to discover what the pages might become when they are no longer hidden among the diapers. The move into Barbara's old room is the practical consequence that makes the gamble visible to the entire family. Max and Julie and Annie are no longer a temporary disruption. They are another full household absorbed into a space that was already absorbing Barbara and Mark. The accumulation of bodies is beginning to look like a principle rather than an emergency. Anne's house is becoming the default solution to every form of precarity the adult children encounter. The pattern is both generous and unsustainable. Max's resignation accelerates the pattern. He has quit the sky. He has nowhere else to land. The mother's house becomes the only available ground. Schneider's response to the new arrangement is characteristically practical and slightly wounded. He offers Alex a bunk in the captain's quarters downstairs, a move that is both generous and self-protective. It keeps the boy from the full chaos of the main apartment, while also giving Schneider a form of company he rarely admits. To Needing, the offer is accepted. Alex will mature by leaps and bounds, or at least that is the hope. The hope is the same one that has always hovered over Schneider's relationship to the family, that proximity to their life might supply something his own life has not. Max's arrival with a manuscript and a 6-month deadline only intensifies the feeling that everyone under the roof is in the middle of an unfinished transformation. I think often of the particular courage required to quit a job that is making you miserable when you have a newborn and no clear alternative income. The courage is not pure. It is mixed with panic, with the fear of being seen as irresponsible, with the knowledge that the people who love you will have to absorb the consequences of your choice. Max's courage is of that mixed kind. He does not quit because he is certain the novel will succeed. He quits because the alternative is to continue performing a contentment that has already become a lie, and the lie has begun to cost him his marriage. The 6-month deadline is the formal acknowledgement that the courage has limits. The writing will have to justify itself inside a window the family can still afford to underwrite. If it cannot, the sky remains. Julie's role in the decision is more complicated than simple inspiration. She has forced the confrontation. She has named the cowardice. She has also already demonstrated her willingness to leave. The combination is both loving and coercive. I have been on the receiving end of similar combinations: the partner who refuses to continue protecting you from the truth of your own unhappiness, and who is prepared to remove themselves from the shared life if the unhappiness is allowed to continue. The refusal is a form of care. It is also a form of pressure that leaves the other person with a choice that does not feel entirely free. Max chooses the pages. He chooses the 6 months. He chooses the overcrowded bedroom in the house where his wife grew up. The choices are real. The conditions under which they are made are not neutral. The diaper bag manuscript remains for me the emblem of the entire gamble. For years, the work lived in the margins, portable, concealable, never granted the status of a primary activity. Now, it is being asked to become the center of a life that includes a child and a marriage and the ongoing hospitality of a mother-in-law who has already absorbed more bodies than her apartment was designed to hold. The pages will have to earn their new status. The 6 months will not be long enough to settle the question permanently, but they will be long enough to change the terms under which the question is asked. Max will no longer be a flight attendant who writes in secret. He will be a man who quit the sky in order to write, and who is living with the consequences of that decision in a house full of other people who are also living with the consequences of their own unfinished transformations. I return to this sequence whenever I need to remember how private ambition first steps into the public space of a family. It does not step carefully. It steps through a confrontation, a telephone call, a resignation, a deadline, and a suitcase carried into a room that already contains more lives than it can comfortably hold. The stepping is both necessary and disruptive. The series, in its stubborn attention to the actual cost of such decisions, refuses to pretend that the disruption is temporary or small. Max has quit the sky. The pages are out of the diaper bag. The 6 months have begun. Everything else, the overcrowding, the eroded privacy, the ongoing negotiation of who gets to become what inside the limited space of Anne's apartment, will have to arrange itself around that fact. The arrangement will not be elegant. It will only be the next chapter in the long experiment of a family trying to remain a family while each of its members attempts to become a more complete version of themselves. The experiment continues. The manuscript at last is no longer hidden. The apartment has begun to feel like a ship that has taken on more passengers than its original design allowed. I have never been able to watch this phase of the story without feeling the particular claustrophobia of too many lives attempting to unfold inside a floor plan that was already modest when it only had to contain Anne, the girls, and the occasional presence of Schneider. Now the bodies have multiplied. Barbara and Mark in one configuration of rooms, Julie and Max and Annie in another. Alex moving between the main apartment and Schneider's quarters downstairs. The baby's schedule answering to no one's need for silence. Max's sudden 3 in the morning inspiration requiring paper and light and the disruption of whoever is trying to sleep within earshot. The result is not chaos exactly. Chaos would be simpler. What takes hold instead is a continuous low-grade negotiation of space-time sound and the residual claim each person still tries to make on a privacy that has already been compromised past recognition. Anne moves through this new density with the particular competence of a woman who has spent years managing the needs of others and who is only now beginning to notice that the management has left almost no room for her own. I recognize that competence. I have watched it in the women who raised me and in the women I have loved, the ability to keep the household functioning long after the household has ceased to function as a place where the manager herself can rest. Anne still goes to work. She still attempts to keep the romantic connection with Sam alive. She still performs the role of the mother whose door remains open. What she can no longer perform is the quieter role of a person with an interior life that is not continuously interrupted by the sound of a baby crying, a typewriter, or a pen scratching out a sudden novel idea two students arguing about whose exam is more important, or the ordinary friction of too many adults sharing too few bathrooms. The interior life does not disappear. It simply gets deferred hour by hour until the deferral itself becomes a form of disappearance. The nighttime sequences are the most precise record of the erosion. Annie needs to be fed. Max needs a piece of paper because an entire novel has arrived in a single sentence and will be lost if it is not written down immediately. Schneider's snoring, once merely a comic detail, becomes a structural feature of the soundscape. Mark and Barbara have exams in the morning and cannot afford the lost sleep. The offer of hot chocolate is both genuine care and a form of surrender, the acknowledgement that no one is going back to sleep, so the only remaining option is to inhabit the wakefulness together. I have spent nights like these in overcrowded houses, the nights when the original reason for the gathering has been replaced by the simple fact that no one can escape the consequences of everyone else's presence. The hot chocolate does not solve anything. It only marks the hour as one that will be remembered later as the hour when the limit of the arrangement first became undeniable. Anne's professional life begins to show the strain in ways that are both comic and quietly devastating. The yogurt account, the client who has arrived with a checkbook and a pen and the expectation of a focused pitch, becomes the stage on which the domestic overload finally spills into the public world. Francine is left holding Annie. The baby cries, Anne's attention fractures. The pitch collapses into an unfiltered declaration that she hates yogurt, that it is slimy and gooey and tastes like spoiled sour cream, that the client looks like a person who makes yogurt. The account is lost. The scene is played for laughter, yet the laughter sits on top of something heavier, the knowledge that the woman who has been holding everyone else's emergencies has finally run out of the capacity to compartmentalize. I have had days like that. Days when the private overload became so complete that it could no longer be prevented from leaking into the one domain that was supposed to remain separate. The leakage is never graceful. It is only the body's way of announcing that the separation was always artificial. The tension between Max and Mark over the apartment that is finally found is the sequence's clearest demonstration of how scarcity rewrites the ethics of family. The basement apartment on Lombard Street is affordable, has a fireplace, has a small room where someone could study or write, and is owned by a woman who only wants nice tenants. Both couples need it. Both couples have legitimate claims. The argument that erupts is not really about the apartment. It is about the deeper question of whose unfinished transformation is more urgent, whose gamble deserves the limited resource of a door that closes and a quiet that can be controlled. Max has quit the sky. Mark is still in dental school. Barbara is in college. Julie is caring for a newborn while preparing to return to work. Every one of those facts is real. None of them can be resolved by a single basement apartment. The fight is the sound of people who have been living without privacy for long enough that the sudden possibility of privacy becomes something worth damaging relationships to obtain. Anne's response to the fight is the quietest and most telling. She does not referee. She does not offer to solve the problem by expanding the house or finding a second apartment. She simply reaches the end of her capacity to continue absorbing the consequences of everyone else's choices. When Sam suggests that she leave them to it and move in with him, the suggestion lands with the force of a door opening onto a different possible life. The life would include a man who wants her presence, a quiet that is not continuously negotiated, a bed that does not have to be evaluated for its proximity to a crying infant or a snoring superintendent or a young man in the grip of a 3 a.m. literary vision. The offer is tempting precisely because it is ordinary. It does not require Anne to become a different kind of mother. It only requires her to stop being the only available infrastructure for every crisis her adult children encounter. What the sequence understands, and what I have spent decades learning to articulate, is that maternal hospitality has a breaking point, and the breaking point is not a moral failure. It is a physiological and psychic fact. Anne has opened the door to Barbara and Mark after the still exploded. She has opened it again to Julie and Max and Annie after the Houston apartment was sublet and the airline job was quit. Each opening was an act of love. The cumulative effect of the openings is the slow erasure of the conditions under which Anne herself can continue to function as a person with her own work, her own relationship, her own need for unbroken sleep. The series does not punish her for reaching the limit. It simply lets the limit become visible in the lost account, the fractured attention, the sudden attractiveness of Sam's uncomplicated invitation. The bodies are everywhere. They occupy the rooms, the hallways, the bathroom schedule, the residual hours of the night that used to belong to quiet. They occupy Anne's working memory during the day so that a yogurt pitch becomes an unfiltered confession of domestic overload. They occupy the emotional atmosphere so completely that the possibility of a single basement apartment is enough to turn two young couples against each other. The overcrowding is not only spatial, it is temporal and psychic. There is no hour that belongs entirely to one person. There is no conversation that is not at risk of interruption by a baby's cry or a sudden need for paper or the ordinary friction of too many schedules competing for the same limited resources of silence and space. I return to this phase of the story whenever I need to remember what it costs to remain the person whose door stays open. The cost is not abstract. It is measured in lost sleep, lost accounts, lost hours of the interior life that cannot be deferred indefinitely without beginning to disappear. Anne has been paying the cost without complaint for as long as the arrangement has required it. The quiet desperation that finally surfaces is not a rejection of her children. It is the body's insistence that the arrangement cannot continue in its current form without damaging the person who has been holding it together. Sam's offer is the first external recognition of that insistence. The recognition does not solve the overcrowding. It only makes the overcrowding visible as a condition that Anne is no longer required to treat as permanent. The apartment on Lombard Street will be lost to someone else while the family is still arguing over who deserves it. The loss will force another round of improvisation. But before the loss arrives, there is this necessary middle movement, the clear-eyed acknowledgement that bodies take up space, that privacy is not a luxury, and that even the most generous maternal infrastructure has a load-bearing limit. Anne has reached the limit. The series, in its stubborn honesty about the actual conditions of care, refuses to pretend that the limit is a failure of love. It is only the point at which love must begin to include the person who has been doing the loving. The inclusion is overdue. The desperation is the sound of it finally arriving.